It's fine.
No,
Look,
no, no, no. The
you
guy
can
was
send your
born
love
in the
letter to Jim
1700s.
Sterling
The photo wasn't taken
later.
in the
But
Oh,
for now, we're live.
I see what you mean. Yeah, so this
Ugh.
is the oldest photo ever taken, but there was
Oh, I
other
actually
people
shuddered
We'll,
there.
in the 1700s who were photographed.
we'll do a reaction at some
I
point,
believe
Dake, and you can share your
there's
true
only
feelings with the
one
world.
photo of one
For
dude who was
for
born in the
now,
To
1700s.
hello,
Jim
chat.
Sterling.
It's crazy that there's a photo of
Jim
someone
Sterling.
that
Whoever
died
you
long
want.
ago.
I don't know if we have enough time,
You,
man.
you can
This photo
profess
from
your
1846.
feelings to any influencer you want. You can profess your
Well,
feelings to all of them.
you have
Photographic
to think.
technology
I
has
can
We'll make
explain
our
my
way down the
feelings.
list.
I can explain my feelings about Jim Sterling very, very
We are
easily and in
live,
one
by the way,
sentence.
so.
Yeah, but this guy holded the
No, I
technology
know,
for
it's okay.
100 years.
If you just watch EFAP 400 and you get that little clip where you see the guys having the little chat,
Jesus Christ.
and Jim starts being Jim, and Ben Crowshaw's face of just like, what? Did you actually say it? What? That's my opinion of Jim Sterling.
Is that the pregnancy thing?
Yes,
Yeah, that's fucking hilarious.
that is my
That
opinion.
feels like a scene out of The Office or something. Like that moment.
I,
Brilliant.
it's funny in its own right, but I used to be a really big fan of Yahtzee back in the day. So to see him somehow struck like a dumb, just at a loss for words, is like, wow. I didn't think that was possible.
Yeah, Yahtzee's always been
I
funny.
didn't think you could shut him up of all people.
Yeah. He's always been funny, and he's always been, like, pretty quick on the draw, witty, as far as, like, well, at least he comes across that way, because he does record
Oh, he's funny.
his content.
I know he's funny as hell. He's funny as hell. Yeah, I really like him. I always have. I haven't watched him a lot in the last few years, but I used to watch a lot of his videos.
But speaking of funny people, lanterns, guys. So we are to get on on track with the subject of what we're supposed to be streaming about. Yeah, episode 2 of Lanterns. What did we think overall?
I think it was a very bold choice of them to introduce Larfleeze this early. Very, very interesting. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it works out for them.
That's true.
Yeah,
I
think
personally
is-
liked when Mogu showed up, and he's standing in the small town in Nebraska, and
You just said Mogu.
yeah,
Mogo?
Mogo. I always read it as Mogu.
Grogu?
It just sounds weird to me because there's a brand of like chocolate milk and stuff over here that's called Mugu. So it just sounded, yeah. Anyway, doesn't matter.
The chip dabbing, that was just peak right there.
Musical number might have been a bit bold, but
Yeah, it was a brave choice. It's a real brave, creative decision to have a dabbing squirrel, but it worked.
well, I mean, they're only 6 years behind Marvel, so it's fine.
Okay, but in all seriousness, what do we all think? Maybe just general thoughts on the episode might be a good way to go about it. And let's start with Dake.
Who? I am more puzzled and more unhappy about this episode somehow than I was about the last one, which is saying something.
Yeah, everything positive I feel like I had about the last one, I feel like a lot more negative now because Jesus Christ, such a shit show.
There's still some good stuff in there somewhere. It's just
yeah.
I don't understand why they're structuring the show the way they are. I don't understand why they're making the decisions that they're making for the plot lines and for the executions of them. It's watching each scene, I can be like, okay, I understand why this is here. I can see why you did this here. But when you put it all together, it's like a jigsaw that's actually not a jigsaw. It's just 10,000 different pieces of other jigsaws hammered into place.
Oh, I know where else I need to link the stream to. And yeah, I do actually understand what you mean though. It's like
they clearly want to head towards War of Light. They want to head towards Sinestro Corps. They want to head towards Red Lanterns. Like, I mean, whatever these whatever the guys in this episode were, I'm more inclined to think weaponers than Red Lanterns, but either could be applicable considering what's been said.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt either one. And I'm
But, like,
thinking with the animated show, because the animated show is probably the last like big like mainstream Green Lantern project, and that I think had Red Lanterns and the different colored lantern corps. I think they're gonna lean more into that.
It did, yeah. If you mean the kind of 3D animation one, yeah, it did.
Yes.
It focused largely on the Reds, actually.
Yeah. What about you, True? What about you, Shame? By the way, chat, we have Shame now. We've acquired Shame. He's our property
I've been
now.
recruited, and they were very subtle because when you recruit someone, you should be very subtle about it.
We hit him with a van. That's how we recruited him.
And I was totally fine as well. Like I get hit by vans all the time, especially to the face. So it was.
That must be your Marine training.
It was actually SAS because I'm
well,
British.
is he
so
Marine?
We're even more hard.
I think he's a darker...
Yeah, you guys are Marines as well.
No, he's a.
You
I
guys
think he's a
invented
darker.
Marines.
No, I think he's a darker
harder.
shade of blue than Marine. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's a good
no,
point. We should have done you up as a Blue Lantern for the thumbnail, not as Guy.
Hey, Dan is in chat. How you doing, Dan?
Hi, Dan. I really thought this was well, I don't know about much worse, but it was worse than the first episode. I didn't like John. I didn't like John already, but I don't like him even more. I think it's kind of cringe that he seems to be put in a place where we have to like him, or we're supposed to like him over Hal. I think Hal's got this kind of like cheeky thing about him, and I think we were talking about it before. How the two actors are doing a pretty good job each, and I actually like, I don't know the guy's name, Pierre something Pierre. I actually like
Pierre,
the guy
yeah.
who plays John. Yeah. But I just think his character is kind of unlikable, and I think for some reason they've made him a vegan granny hunter who
vegan
is,
granny hunter.
You know, he's like dry as a bone as well. It's like, I don't know, everything about him is just like we're gonna make him one of these weird people who, you can't quite get gauge on, and we're supposed to like him more.
I respect the fact that they have kept very, very close to the core character of Jon Stewart, and he is about as bland as you can possibly find anyone to be.
Yeah,
I actually think they've made him more bland than the comics do.
They actually have, and I'm almost not sure how they did it.
But the whole show is maybe it comes from the same sort of mindset that brings them the aliens that refuse to look like aliens, and the Green Lantern costume that refuses to be in any way exciting to look at or colorful or interesting at all.
I don't need it to be exciting to look at, but I mean,
I think if you have a superhero's uniform, it should conjure up some kind of excitement when you see the guy put it on.
Well, yeah, okay. I mean, in the scene, yeah, I can see that. I was thinking more in universe, so like it really is more like a police uniform in universe than a superhero costume. It's only a superhero costume really on a couple of planets.
Yeah, but and a lot of that is I mean, I don't know, because how much of a difference is it really between a uniform and a superhero costume? Really, like the only difference is you have like a organization backing it, kind of.
Well, everyone in the Bat family wears a costume, but none of them would consider it a uniform.
I don't know though, but because if you went and put Robin into like Joker makeup and stuff, like, or even just like normal like clothes, I do think people would not recognize him as Robin, and there is a certain advantage to being recognizable as whatever the position is or the role. like there's advantages to anonymity and kind of like being able to be more discreet, but same in the reverse. Like uh, I don't know if there's that much of a difference, especially with how far distributed lanterns are supposed to be.
Well, there are only 7,200 of them across the entire galaxy.
Which actually
Yeah.
is not that much for an entire
Wait.
galaxy.
Universe? Yeah, universe, not
Or
galaxy.
entire universe.
Yeah,
Not
and
much at all.
considering there's supposed to only be one set for Earth, it should be considered basically a superhero costume because no one on Earth should see any other ones.
Well,
Hypothetically, in this scenario,
Guy
we haven't got
clearly
that.
treats his as a superhero costume.
He does.
Yeah, and his is, to
Whereas-
be fair, his is a little bit more interesting.
And it is, and yet it's still like it's kind of in between where the normal GL uniform is and where Guy's costume should be. Have you never seen Guy's comic costume?
I probably have, but yeah, I'm not familiar with it like off the top of my head.
Hang on, I'll pull up a picture just so you can actually see it. Because Guy very much does not go in for the "I will look like every other lantern."
Yeah, I can see
I actually
why.
really
I mean,
like Guy's costume.
I do
I think
too.
his hair probably makes it look more exciting because if he had just like a normal haircut, he probably wouldn't look so distinguishable.
Well, Guy in even Superman has a very like unique look. He does not dress like the typical Green Lantern.
Yeah, I mean, I remember seeing him when I first saw him in Superman. I thought, oh, that's not what I thought the Green Lantern looked like.
Yep. So I
Yeah,
guess,
but it's also not what Guy normally looks like. Give me a second, I'll have it now.
while you're doing that, I'm probably just gonna talk about my personal feelings on the whole episode as a whole. I was definitely not a fan. In fact, I
In the
would
chat.
say I'm almost comically not
Oh,
a
wow, yeah.
fan. Comically. See what I did there.
Ba-dum-ts.
But basically it.
Would you say you're genuinely not a fan?
Yeah, genuinely not a fan. Genuinely, fuck. I just fucking really love this fucking dialogue. I mean, it would be shit if we had dialogue that treated the tone a bit more seriously and a bit more naturally. Like, fuck, can you imagine?
No, we
Fucking
can't do
need.
that.
No, the dialogue is like cringe to high hell. Or
It's
whatever.
try hard.
It's
That's what it is.
It
it's
is.
so forced, and that hospital scene with the sheriff was just fucking so
Oh,
draggy.
God.
It was like
I did
the-
not hate the hospital scene as much as I hated the diner scene. I thought the diner scene was much
Ooh.
worse.
They were both pretty
Yeah,
terrible.
Like there
yeah.
was actually information being imparted both ways and a level of trust being gained in the hospital scene. Like something's happening there, whereas the diner one seemed to be mostly. I wouldn't have fucked you if I knew you were married. Yeah, my husband's kind of a dick, but he treats me like a princess. And the rest was basically fuck white people.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Not
The white man can do whatever he wants when he's got
not
loads of
really
money.
super helpful for the story there, guys. That
No.
But
didn't push
actually,
things forward very much.
literally
It
have it be
did.
like,
It did
what's
make
going
me.
on
It did
with
make me
your white
dislike
man?
both of those characters more, though. So well done.
Yeah, they literally have the line of dialogue of what's going on with your white man. That was like jarring. That was like, what? Like,
Yeah,
I can't
I do
believe.
think
Like,
that
I
was the
actually can't
line.
believe they thought that was fine. Like that's crazy.
I think the bit before where it's about like when you marry a white man, he can get away with anything, and give a white man money, you can get away with even more.
Let's play it out.
that
Let's
was
play it out for a second. Hey, Rangi, how's your Chinaman doing?
Unity's doing fine.
Oh God, now you're going to annoy him by saying that.
I know that's the layered joke of it.
I would have gotten away clean with that one, but you just had to go and say that part.
That's why. That's why if he ever sees this, I know he's gonna message me annoyed.
He will too.
But yeah, no, I think that moment was like you could have kind of brushed past it, but then they doubled down with the "How's your white man" line. That's just like, okay, now I'm pulled out of the scene, and now
Well,
I'm thinking about how you're
God, then
just
they
fucking
triple
racist.
down with. Then they triple down even further with like, no, white men with money can do whatever the fuck they want. I was like,
oh,
bitch, anyone with that much money can do whatever the fuck they want. What are you talking about?
I was gonna
Like
say,
you're clearly of Indian
uh,
extraction. I've got some really bad news for you about your ancestral country. You know, like some
I-
really bad
Everybody
news about people
knows.
with money.
I was gonna say basically like any country in the world, like if you have enough money, you can kind of get away with. I mean, Epstein was not white; he was Jewish. You have like the African warlords and stuff that can do whatever the fuck they want. You have you have the- in
Every
China
monarchy in
and
history.
in China and Japan, there's definitely people who have the money that can to just get away with whatever. Well, particularly China. Like,
Fucking
if you're a
Kim Jong Un
CCP official, I
isn't
was
white.
gonna say, if you're a CCP official, you can kind of just get away with whatever. You can probably literally get away with murder. To be honest, you probably have.
Probably.
Yeah,
Statistically, there are some who have.
Yeah.
but I
Like
mean, the
a
the
Russian
reason I hated
oligarch.
the
Well, do we count Russians this way? But a Russian oligarch can get away with whatever the fuck they want, as long
Hang
as
on,
they don't piss off the boss.
why would we not count
Well,
Russians
because
as white? Why was that even a thought in your
they're too
mind?
white.
because a lot of Russia is also in Asia.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
think that's more a
racially
matter of
they.
like modern boundaries and anything else. But Russians, ethnically, yeah, they're, dude, the Caucasus are in fucking Russia.
Okay,
You
well,
don't really get whiter than Russians unless you come here.
it depends on where you are in Russia, because but either way, it is a case of this isn't a race specific race thing. And I'm not like
No, it was just a funny thing to hear. Like, do we consider Russians white? I mean, like, I feel like every European would look at you with confusion if you said that. It's like,
well,
what? Like, do we consider Italians white? Like, yeah, duh.
I was gonna say actually another thing you could go to do is like you have like South America. If you're rich enough in South America, you can just like get away.
Yeah.
This is the nature of corruption. It's not like
Oh my god, I came so close to a rags moment just there.
but yeah, this is something that is universal, and it's kind of annoying when it always annoys me when it's done this way. But then it is very clear they are doing kind of the annoying kind of cringe race politics thing on top of that.
Yeah, well,
And
it's completely irrelevant to the actual story that they're
yes,
setting up as well. It's like they didn't need to do any of that, and they've just decided because Hal
Well,
Jordan's
now,
white and because Jon
Shane,
Stewart's black, it's like,
you say that, but we honestly don't know beyond speculation what the story they're actually driving towards is yet.
well, no,
we
yeah,
have our
but so
theories.
far we,
Like, I have certain, I wouldn't say ironclad, but like pretty realistic suspicions about a short list of things that it can only be at this point. But I'm still not sure which way they're going to do
Oh,
the reveals because I can't tell if they're playing it close to the vest or if they shot a lot of this without actually knowing which side was going to be which.
also
I mean,
in a show with aliens and what seems to be the idea they're going with is genocidal organization against aliens. Um, how much of American racism is really like relevant? You know, like
yeah,
Well,
like not
it's
at all.
not, is it? Because at that point, it's bloody speciesism. So it is, in fact.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'll do it. I'll do it.
we need to
Just
kill
for
the
you,
Xenos.
potato, you annoying fucker. But it is, in fact, Xenos.
Xenos, yes, exactly. And you know what? I think we should purge the Xenos for the Empire.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, the other thing I know is Damon Lindelof, so it wouldn't be absolutely out of the realms, but I would be kind of shocked if we got to the end of the season and we realized that the actual crux of the plot was, race politics between Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. Like, if that was what ended the entire conflict at the end of the thing, I'd be like, well, this is just like what a surefire way to completely delegitimize your own TV
Uh,
show.
You saw episode 1, right?
Yeah.
So from the stinger we get at the end, I'm pretty sure that's not actually going to be the case. Like, I don't think it's going to be a factor at all, which means that instead of that, which would have been awful and very, very bad and cringe, they've instead gone the route of we're not making that a factor, except maybe a little under the surface with Hal and John, which seems mostly to be on John's side more than Hal's, because Hal doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's the fact
it's
that
just
John had this conversation that we were discussing. It's like it's clearly the writers want you to think that it's in his mind, at least partially, but
But I
it's
mean,
not
he
been
goes
proven to be
back
in
10
any way
years.
relevant.
He goes back 10 years later. We know this. He finds Hal. We know this. None of this is spoilers now, guys. If you're watching an episode 2 review, then you've probably seen episode 1. And if you haven't, frankly, it's your fault for the spoiler. I mean, come on, let's be
Yeah.
realistic here.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I
he
think I
goes back
titled
10
it.
years later. He finds Hal's body. He checks for the ring. He's obviously on good terms with the sheriff, and they've apparently stayed in touch, or we're supposed to believe that John has a literally photographic memory. One. Wait, that's what confused me earlier. I'll go back to it in a second.
Also, I just
It's a
put
son.
guy on
It's a
screen.
son. It's a son, not a daughter. It's definitely a son. It can't be It can't be Batwoman.
Yeah, no, it was because remember we saw the sun.
Yeah, the baseball stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
it just came back to me as I was saying that.
but
what I'm getting at is, like, if it means that the racial stuff is not any part of their relationship, and it certainly doesn't seem to be now. 2 out of 10 episodes. Is it 10 or 8? It's 10, right?
it's 8. I think it's 8.
8. Okay. Well, like, in that case, we're literally a quarter of the way
Thank
through,
fuck.
and I've yet. But it means that that entire diner scene was engineered solely so as the two ethnically diverse people could just have a moaning session about white people.
Yeah, which, by the way, if
Like, I would like
you-
to not
wait,
believe that that was the case, but unfortunately, this is Damon Lindelof and Tom King, and I can
Yeah.
easily believe that that was the only
and
reason.
If you are somebody who is like one of these, how condescended are you? Look, they don't care about you. They want your fucking money, and they think that by appealing, they're gonna get your money. That's what I think this
Well,
is.
Rangi, you're a military brat.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I can only speculate. Well, I mean, I do know a little bit, but I will for the sake of argument. For the sake of argument, I will only speculate. But in the services, especially amongst people who've served, actively served, I mean, does there tend to be a lot of racial tension?
Not really, no, because there's kind of at least in my experience and my family's experience, like the family next door to us was Muslim, you know.
Well, I'm working on the theory that I would assume that military bonds would supersede that kind of thing in most cases.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm going. They were like Muslim, kind of Arabic originally. My brother's best friends growing up were it was 2 black guys and a white guy. There was within when it comes to military on base, there's sort of a camaraderie because everybody's kind of going through the same thing, and especially when it comes to military families and like army brats or like navy brats or whatever.
And would you think that this is probably equally applicable to the fathers serving?
Yeah, yes, definitely. There are going to obviously, you know,
So if John has
standalone
actively
from-
served, and he apparently has, then he's probably served with people who aren't just
Well,
kind of really bitter black guys, right?
Well, this is the interesting thing with John too, because not only has he served, he is a multiple generations military member. Which, by the way, that happens a lot. There's a lot of people who grow up on base. There's a lot of people I grew up with, who then go into service themselves.
Well, Totally understandable, yeah. But what I'm getting at really is all of this would suggest that someone with his background probably wouldn't have too much of a racial chip on his shoulder.
It would
yeah,
be
'cause it wouldn't make
it'd
any
be very
sense.
unlikely.
But all
from-
this grandma has to do is say white, and that's it. Off he goes.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
well, I
the
guess
thing.
think
It's,
because like from a
Like
self-preservation perspective,
I don't understand that. Like it might make sense. It might make sense for her character. We don't have any idea what her character is, so maybe I don't know. But from what they've shown us of John, I don't understand it. From the lore, which they seem to be kind of picking and choosing to follow, I don't understand it. And from a writing and crafting perspective, I don't understand it.
since
well,
I
from
guess
any character.
I guess
Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say I guess we're locked into this topic now. So I can say this like yeah, it it would probably honestly in my experience as somebody who grew up in a military family, it is a very unusual to encounter like particular like racial stuff because the thing about it is a lot of it comes down to the military is kind of its own in group, you know, like so the in group preference oftentimes gets replaced with military people. Um, there's a level of respect you will give people who served, or even just people who grew up in a military family that you would not give to like a civilian family, and it kind of supersedes that sort of prejudice in my experience. In
Yeah, but like even from a
I
practical
would
standpoint, it
expect that.
makes no sense to have any kind of prejudice, racial prejudice against your own, colleagues, I suppose, because you want these people to have your back in life and death situations. You don't want to have
yep.
fucking stupid racial
Well,
prejudices that are going to potentially
Well,
get you
yeah,
in serious danger.
I'm actually driving. I'm
you
actually
get a lot
driving at
of people
a further
making
point
jokes
here.
about it, but like that's military humor. There's a lot of gallows humor in the military in general.
And it's the same thing with sports teams. It's the same concept. You need to work as a team. You don't need to be falling out over trivial things like, you know, different racial groups and stuff. It's just
Yeah.
makes sense. It's practical.
So you don't suppose that if John has problems, as we have apparently learned in this episode with white people, you don't suppose that might, golly, you don't suppose that might pose problems meeting aliens from 3,600 other worlds when you get to Oa?
As long as they shapeshift into a black man, he'll be fine.
To be
Well,
fair, every alien we've
we
encountered.
honestly can rule that out. That is Damon Lindelof's signature trick. He literally did that in Watchmen. He literally did exactly that. So we actually can't rule that out.
I forgot about Watchmen, but by the way, to be fair, every alien just looks like a fucking human, so it doesn't matter. That's actually beginning to annoy the fuck out of me. By the way,
Well, not all of them, because Hal takes the piss out of Chip, so we know that Chip looks like a squirrel.
yeah, okay.
And Mogo doesn't socialize, so we can conclude that Mogo probably doesn't look human.
Well, it would be really okay. Shame because we mentioned Mogo.
Okay, hang on. You do the preamble. I'll pull up a picture.
Okay, do you want me to actually say talk? Did I actually say did I actually put on screen what the picture of Mogo is? Okay, no, I'll
By
do it.
all means, yeah.
So there is a sentient planet out there within the DC universe. His name is Mogo. He's a Green Lantern.
He is a Green Lantern.
What? He's a
And
planet.
Yes,
he does
is
not
a
fuck
planet.
about. He is a planet, yes.
Fucking- Okay, that makes sense why I was
Now you know.
confused.
Now you know why Mogo doesn't socialize.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
He physically can't.
Well,
Oh, he
actually,
can. He
does.
can. It's just not a good idea if he does. There's the
Yeah,
picture there.
well, to be
What
fair, he
the
does
fuck?
appreciate when the other lanterns visit. He does.
How long did it take to get that ring on him?
Oh, that's not his ring. That's just the forest that he grew to represent the lantern symbol. The ring
Alright.
is deep in the
Yeah,
ring is
'cause
actually inside the
as
core,
said, Mogo is sentient. He is a sentient plant.
and he's funny too.
Jesus.
He is funny.
Well, that's. I don't really know how to react to that, but I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, no. When people hear Green Lantern Planet, they're usually like, "You mean their headquarters, right?" Like, no, no, I don't.
It's such a weird and
I
wild
can see
idea.
why you might think that, but no. Yeah,
There we
that's
go,
Mogo.
chat. There you go, chat.
I
There's
want a
Mogo.
I want a Batman planet now, where it's just like a planet with a cowl on it.
Something similar has been done in DC 1 million. Was it? It was either Uranus or it was one of the moons of Jupiter that
Which
future Batman had adapted to a prison. Yeah, there you go, chat. Planet Lantern, Mogo. He does not socialize.
that was one of the jokes we actually thought was funny. The fact that the password was Mogo doesn't socialize. That
Yeah,
was
no,
actually kind of an,
that was a good reference. That was a deep cut. That got a laugh out of me.
Yeah. Although, as we discussed in the moment, it was a joke, in spite of the fact that it was completely fucked up. That he can just essentially
Yeah.
play a recording of Hal's voice in order to break into his pocket dimension. That just makes no sense whatsoever.
Okay, yeah. So I actually think this is actually going to tie into my thoughts on the episode as a whole. This is the episode where just the logistics of everything and just how things work doesn't fucking matter. It's there's no thought put into it. There's no effort to like make things make sense. There's no
Well, no, there's thought put into it. They just don't have any. They they don't seem to be willing or able to put the pieces together. Like they can craft the
yeah.
pieces.
It feels like they try to put them together, and if they don't fit together, they just shrug and just drop them on the.
Yeah, like where's
Well,
the
look.
thought put into the moment where John gets smacked in the face by a van moving like 60 miles an hour?
Oh,
Like, where's the
Guys, do we
thought
really
there?
have to cover this? But he's a Marine, you guys. They're super tough. And also,
But
he's, you know, black,
like,
so
that's literally a
presumably that
moment
makes
of
him tougher somehow. I don't know.
like that's just literally a moment of the writers just going, yeah, we don't care about that though.
Oh,
Like, we need him to be in
Nostromo
this
pressure.
room getting interrogated, so that's where we're gonna be.
I like that if you take the Hal stuff in between the two John scenes out, you have him getting smacked in the face by a very swiftly decelerating van as it sideswipes him. And then the next scene, he opens his eyes and the guy says, "I apologize for the violence."
Hold on, wait. I think I know this account. Okay. So, but wherever had that, it was called Nostromo and ended poorly. I assume that's what he means with the Batman planet, which is kind of funny. Oh, hey, Oobly. I see Oobly.
Oh, I see an oobly.
I think. But yeah, so I guess we can go ahead and talk. We can go ahead and get to the actual storyline of the episode. So
You figured out what it was?
that's a good question. Dake, can you give me what you think the story synopsis of this is?
Oh, a succinct synopsis? No, I don't think I can do that. I can kind of guess at the threads I think that they're trying to lay down, but I've been doing that the whole way through. I
I mean,
I'm still not sure, man. I'm still not sure. Okay, so we've got group of aliens kidnap John. Probably either weaponers or Red Lanterns.
Oh no, wait, hold on. Even that, you're starting way too late.
No, I know. I'm just picking a thread and I'm starting to pull on that one. It's okay. So they think that a manhunter is hidden and maintaining a base of power in Rushville. Fair enough. Now, Rancher Compound paranoid cowboy people have alien detecting technology, presumably from yet other aliens, and are very, very paranoid and don't want anyone on. They are protecting something on the property, or this is what Hal believes, and it does seem to be borne out by everything we're shown so far. This doesn't mean that they both aren't right. I think these assholes writing are the kind of people who are very patting themselves on the back with very large, extendable hands and telling themselves how very clever they are. And they are just the kind of people who think, well, we've already done the time skip stuff. So we're telling 2 stories at once. What if we actually faked them out and told 3 or 4 stories at once? So I kind of think that we're going to get the reveal that, yes, there is a manhunter, but actually that's not the thing. And at that point, the thing kind of almost has to be Parallax, because they've now had Hal mention Abansur and the crash and do everything by name. Like, I mean, everything is pointing towards Parallax.
It almost, well, remember what Sinestro says. That means that's the second most dangerous issue.
Yeah, and that tell me about John Stewart line, clearly a fake out.
Yeah, obviously.
Like that's the
I
writer's fake out.
also- I mean, it's a bit of a nitpick, but it was really annoying to me that as soon as he went to see Sinestro, he says Sinestro. It's like, yeah, we know that, and you know that, and he knows that what his name is. So please just don't
Well,
tell us what
wouldn't
his
it be
name
Well, I
more
is.
mean,
interesting if he does just get right into it without the formalities? Because these are two.
Because that's what he wants to do. He's clearly fucked off with it. Well, like he's clearly angry, and he even proves that by later on saying, he's like, "What the fuck do you know about manhunters?" Like he's
Yeah,
impatient. So why is he
they
going
have
in
very
saying Sinestro?
tempestuous
It's just to
relationship.
let us know who it is.
Well, it's to let
We
normies
could
know who
figure
it
it
is.
out.
Yeah.
But we could figure it out. It's there. It's not. And even Sinestro even says, he's like, no, hello, how do you do, or how am I doing, or whatever.
Well,
Then at that point, Hal could have replied sarcastically, "Hello, Sinestro, how are you doing today?" or whatever. Like that would have been a fine way of saying his name. But you
well,
don't need to go in and say
if
Sinestro. It's
you
like, yes, thank
really
you.
want to introduce him as Sinestro, why not have like him have to interact with a guard or something, like somebody who's in charge of like taking care of and watching over these prisoners, and then it's like, Jordan, who are you here to see? And then he has to say, then he has to say Sinestro, but it's like a natural.
You mean
way
someone like
Yeah.
Salak,
using-
whose entire job it is to watch over the science cells and keep the prisoners in there?
Yeah, almost like
You
that.
know, but they could have done that, but they would have had to show an alien.
It's just
Oh.
another example of the show being like
Like
incapable of.
there is a lantern
stuff.
who has that job, and he's very well known, quite popular, been around for literally fucking decades, probably
Yeah.
half a century at this point, Salak. And yeah, no, why? Because they would have had to animate an alien. They can't be doing that.
Yeah, well, no, because you remember they just make all the aliens just look human.
Well,
Yeah.
supposedly from the reviews and some leaks, stuff does get a lot more cosmic towards the second half of the show, so I assume we will see a lot more stuff there. It's just why they would choose to skip, like, why go to Oa and show only Hal and Sinestro and show basically
But
a corridor? Like, you showed a corridor, guys. What the hell are you doing? Why aren't we seeing the power battery or the shield shell or something? I mean, fly over the training grounds, have a glimpse of Kilowog, like, do something.
But
It was a
Sinestro
completely
also
you-
just
empty
looks like
corridor
a
as well.
guy.
Yeah, no, they clearly filmed in random office building, and we're like, haha, we'll CGI the cells. Like, great, well done.
I could buy that the that the science cells are in the same building they rented out to do the John kidnapping scene. I could actually believe that.
It's not impossible.
And they just CGI'd over it, you know?
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
impossible. To be honest, it would make sense, like, from a set perspective.
It's just such a lazy show. Like there's no effort put in to make it seem, cosmic in any way, particularly superhero-y at all. It's like they're desperate to make True Detective, and it's like True Detective hasn't been good for 10 years anyway. So like, why are you trying to copy this dead show that's not even any good anymore, just for the sake of completely butchering the Green Lantern when
Dude,
you could just make a decent Green Lantern show?
you're asking this of the guy who co-made Lost and then made the Watchmen TV show. Do you really think you'd get a coherent answer out of him?
No, but at least Lost was, somewhat
Okay.
creative in its concept and
Yes, it
crazy
created the concept
ideas.
of mystery books.
And Oobly,
Yeah.
yeah, it definitely had to have been Oa. Where
Yeah,
where
no, it had to be for the science cells. Like, dude, Sinestro's there. Like, that's it. Enough.
Yeah, like why would Sinestro be there? But yeah. Do you know what's
But
gonna happen, by the way?
the Guardians would
Huh.
never hold Sinestro anywhere else.
and Hal even felt the need to actually put the uniform on. But where else would he wanna
Yeah.
throw the uniform on? He doesn't even seem to do that in general day to day. Like, he doesn't do that when he's doing a mission in like some other state outside of where he lives. He doesn't do that even when he's trying to ask for legitimacy from like government bodies. But
So
apparently,
my best guess is he will wear it going off planet, but he won't wear it on planet.
well, wait, no, but that doesn't work either. Because remember,
Well,
the
no,
first
that could work.
maybe it could. But the first episode, the idea was he like came back to Earth from another planet, and he was
Oh,
hungover
that's
because of the
true.
party.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I guess maybe he just puts it on for like what he considers to be ceremonial stuff. So like if he has to go to Oa.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
At the
because
same
I'd
time, he
imagine.
clearly doesn't want to see anybody else, so he's basically sneaking onto the planet. So it still seems kind of perfunctory and
Probably like
pointless.
just in case he runs into one of his bosses, they're like, "Why are you not wearing your uniform?" sort of thing.
But he
you know?
wouldn't. He wouldn't though. Like the Guardians don't tend to just wander around.
They don't. That is actually true.
Okay.
The
Well, like
Guardian,
maybe a colleague, one of the other lanterns.
the
and they're like, "What
Guardians
are you
also
ashamed?"
like, as much as the Guardians have all the power, they'll get
And
annoyed.
they do have approximately all of the power.
Yeah, I was gonna say they'll get annoyed with somebody kind of skirting the rules or not being professional. They won't actually do anything unless you're actually doing like horrific shit. That there's a
Ages to do anything about Sinestro. They didn't even believe it.
I was gonna say, also Guy exists.
Well, Guy exists because while he's probably the most disrespectful Lantern, he's also still one of like the fucking top 5, maybe top 10 most effective of all time.
That is true, but you know,
Why is Guy around? Like, why are there two Green Lanterns with this on the same planet?
okay, well, so
Okay, hang on.
there's
Now,
multiple reasons. Well, Dake, while you
Randy,
describe this, I'll step away.
No. You take this one. You've been reading up on it. You can do this explanation just as well as I can. You go ahead.
Okay, so there's kind of multiple reasons, but one of the main ones is a lot of shit happens on Earth or centers around Earth. So eventually the Guardians just realized like we might want to have a second lantern there specifically because a lot of shit keeps happening that's centered on the Earth.
Right. Okay.
But
Not
it wasn't
exactly
it's an
right, but close
intentional
enough.
decision.
well, yeah, that's kind of the easy like layman's fit. The other thing is Guy was the original replacement for Hal.
Hal. Yes.
And then John is the original replacement for Guy.
Yes.
And then I believe Hal came back to life, basically.
Hal briefly lost the ring, which led to Guy. Guy had his own stuff, then that led to John. Then Hal became Parallax and tried to kill the entire Corps and the Guardians and take all of the power of all of the Green Lanterns and tried to reset basically half of the universe to suit himself.
As
then
one
he
does.
sacrificed himself in a redemption thing. Then he became the Spectre. Then he came back in a redemption thing. And in the meantime, Kyle was the only Green Lantern left. Literally the only one in the universe.
Yeah, literally the last Green Lantern in the universe. And
which is why I hate when people fucking sleep on Kyle or give him a bad time, because Kyle is a fucking legend. Like, they call him the torchbearer for a reason.
Well, the problem with Kyle is he is the fourth kind of in line in what is probably one of the superhero mantles that is like passable to other people. Like, I don't think you can pass Superman to another character. It's really difficult to like pass that mantle on
I don't know. I
effectively.
feel
Yeah.
like Superboy eventually grows up to be Superman. It's already happened once.
Oh yeah, but yeah, you know what I mean though. It's like Batman. While there's definitely been other people who held the mantle of Batman.
Batman is definitely a mantle that can be passed. The only argument, and I don't care, no hardcore fan, fuck you, chat, because I am absolutely right in what I'm about to say, and I don't care who argues with me. Batman is a mantle that can be passed. The argument is not over whether or not it can. The argument is over who is allowed to have it.
Well,
Well, to be fair,
well,
I
but
think from a more sort of normie perspective, I think Rangi's maybe arguing the point that like if if you were to say what is the name of Green Lantern, people could come up with a few different ones. Whereas if you say who's the name of Batman, it's like it's obviously Bruce Wayne. Who's the name of Superman? It's obviously Clark Kent.
There's
Like
been 4 Flashes.
Green Lantern could be a few different guys. Is
yeah.
kind of the point.
Well, yeah,
It
but
could be
yeah,
6
but
different guys or a girl.
Flash is okay. Wait for Batman. It
Oh,
could
actually,
be.
wait, hang on.
Wait,
I'm miscounting. There have been 7 or 8 Flashes, technically.
yeah, Flash is one of those ones that's a bit more passable. But let's be honest. If I ask people who is the Flash, there's 2 answers they're probably gonna give me.
That's true. Okay, well, hang on. How about Wonder Woman?
Wonder Woman's a weird one, actually.
There have been 3.
Yeah, well,
Actually, that's not true. Technically, there have been 5, but I'm personally
I
discounting 2 of them because they don't count
I
in my mind.
I think that most people just default to Diana.
Well, Donna qualifies. I mean,
Yeah,
they are the
I
exact
don't
same
think
powers. Same origins, same powers, everything. Donna's literally
it
just
is.
a younger
Well,
clone, essentially, of Diana.
I don't know if I asked the average normie that they would even know Dawn exists.
Yeah, yeah. I think if you depends who you're asking, because if you're asking a normie, I'm not even sure how many of them would know that she's called Diana.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? After her famous rape scene, they all know.
After her famous rape scene, as opposed to her not famous rape scene.
But yeah, no, Ubli's right. Robin as well was another one. Robin could be multiple.
Yeah,
different...
Robin can be
Uh,
multiple.
Oobly, the new one. What's the name? The few years ago, was it Niobe? Something like that?
All right, but I think we should get back to the actual like events of the Lantern episode, and while
Well,
you
let me
guys,
answer. Let me answer Ruby real quick on one Green Lantern
yeah,
question before we do, because
I was gonna
it is.
step away because I have to.
Yeah.
I'm hearing the dog downstairs, and I have to check.
Yeah, okay. You go deal with your gaze and I'll answer Ubly. So, Ubly, do you mean do I prefer Kyle as Ion overall, or do I prefer him as Ion over someone else as Ion? Because they're kind of 2 different questions. I kind of have 2 different answers.
Why don't you answer both?
I'll give him a second. He'll answer. It's all right. Ubly's quick with these things. The no clue is the answer about the Wonder Woman thing. I think it was Niobe. It sounds familiar. It sounds right in my head. It's not just because of the Matrix character. Oh, actually, wait, no. What am I saying? It's Cassie, dude. It's Cassie. It's obviously Cassie the Fifth. What are we talking about? Overall, I prefer Kyle as just Green Lantern. I liked him as Ion. I think he was the best host for Ion. I wanted to like him as White Lantern, but they went about it in such a stupid ass about face way. I never understood why they did that. And they did the whole Carol thing with him during that arc as well, which obviously I did not care for. I think he was probably the best host for Ion, in terms of like most engaging character. Like I like Sodom yet, but he's not a very likable character. Who else held Ion? Oh, there was Future. Who was the dude in the future who had Ion? Right, Cassie. Yeah. Poor girl gets no love whatsoever. Titans just glossed over her altogether. So what do we think, guys? How's this episode? We doing okay, Ubly? You liking the addition of Shame? I think it's a good addition.
I
Dunno.
agree.
Can't believe we missed that opportunity. Like I can't believe I never copped. Like your icon is so blue. We should have just done Blue Lantern with you. It was right there.
I'm happy to be Nathan Fillion. The man has been
Well, Guy
left
has
out of the
worn a blue.
spotlight for a long time.
Guy has worn a blue ring, so that we could still do that. That could be made work.
Oh, okay.
I'll,
fair
I'll,
enough.
I'll talk to Aaron. Yeah, Guy has worn. Let's see. Guy has worn
Hey man, listen.
green,
Im-
red.
Let's not include more racism in this stream.
Oh no, it's speciesism with Iron. He's a monkey.
Oh no, Ubli said boo more Brits.
Yeah, he keeps making that joke, but Ubli, you're Australian, bro.
Yeah, man, you're just a British reject.
Well, not even that. He's a member of the Commonwealth. Like he is
Oh,
a
there you go. You
British
should be-
citizen.
mm.
Like you are British, dude. Do you not cop that?
You should be bending the knee.
You are in fact significantly more British than, oh, for example, I don't know, I am.
How British would you consider yourself to be?
Well, I'm Irish, so I wouldn't.
Yeah, but if you include maybe the language, does that make you like 1%?
I would say I have been probably as much anglicized as I have been Americanized, but I would put it down to similar like exterior factors.
Okay.
I'm trying to answer that one nicely because like I could go on a whole thing about like there's a pretty good reason we don't speak Irish actually, and it wasn't exactly by choice. But I'm trying
Listen.
to avoid that whole can of worms.
Hey, listen, I
There's
don't take
a very good
responsibility for the actions of my ancestors.
there is an extraordinarily high chance, chat, that at least one of my ancestors has been killed or killed one of his ancestors. Let's put it that way. Statistically speaking, it's probably happened. We've done a lot of fighting over the years, over
Yeah.
the millennia.
I mean, funnily enough, doesn't preclude that point from being true. But most of my ancestors are from your side of the sea. So, I mean, like
Oh, yeah,
when I
no,
say
look,
most, I mean like 90%.
realistically, jokes aside, I almost certainly do have a load of British DNA and ancestors as well. But like, I don't know, man. I don't really think about it too much, to be honest.
That's the thing. I mean, after all the bloodshed, we're here talking about lanterns together. So
Well, we're nerds.
and that's something.
Nerddom, much like Rengi was saying about military camaraderie, nerddom supersedes most things. Not everything, but most things. Sometimes people can. No, I better not say that on a stream. Actually,
Okay, where are we?
I just saved
we
myself
were
from
talking
making a
about,
neocon joke.
Yeah, we were discussing Irish and British relations,
Okay.
and also Ubli was being racist.
Well, so
You should probably
what
kick
I'm
him.
hearing is you two are.
Well, actually, we were talking about how our ancestors probably killed each other.
Yeah, flirting. Exactly.
To be fair, that is how Rangi flirts.
Hey, my great grandpappy murdered your great grandpappy. What a fuck. But
Man, I'm so glad I drink in dive bars and not gay bars.
I don't drink in gay bars either. Seems dangerous.
I've only ever been to one, and it wasn't. I'm not sure what I expected, but it wasn't what I expected.
Yeah, they're kind of boring, actually.
I assume you expected a lot of gay guys and loud music.
Yeah, there was a lot of straight people who obviously thought, oh, it'd be fun to go to a gay bar, but actually, they ended up outnumbering the gays.
Yeah.
Back in the day, that used to be a joke for like the biggest gay club in Dublin, the George. But it was actually quite a true joke. A lot of guys got it into their head. It's like, well, I mean, if chicks are going to the gay bar to, make sure they're not being hit on, then wouldn't it be like a 4D chess move to go to the gay bar and hit on them there?
Oh, by the way, I have the sheriff's name now. It's Carrie Kane.
Yeah, Kerry.
Carrie Kane. Jeez.
Yeah, as in county. I don't know if that's deliberate or not. You wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Americans do
Is
weird
it-
things with names.
Uh,
You guys call girls Sean. Who's to know what you'll do?
well, look. As somebody who lived in the South, you haven't seen weird American names that you've lived in the South.
Ranky, I've slept with an American girl whose name was Sean. In English, that means John.
No. Yeah, okay,
I would
but
like to
if
point out, before chat gets too excited, before Oobly gets way too excited, this was before the current craze, shall we say.
Yeah,
It
okay.
was very, very certainly a girl.
I was gonna say, but if that girl was from Georgia, it would be Deshaunita, and it would be
Dake,
misspelled.
don't you know that those people have existed for thousands of years? I don't know why you're acting like it's some sort of
Yeah.
modern craze.
And more importantly, they would have misspelled it somehow.
I have never disputed that crazy people have been around for a long time.
They have been at least around as long as the stream has.
Yeah.
So the actual
45 minutes.
episode, though, it does
I like
start.
how he says that now. We haven't even gotten to our first year anniversary 24-hour stream, and he's like, it feels like we've been here forever.
Yeah, are we gonna have to do that? Okay.
Maybe, who knows?
If we're getting paid for it by that point, then I will happily do it.
You're doing it anyway. I'm hitting you with a van over what? Which will apparently mildly inconvenience.
That's how he
Yeah,
gains
well,
his power. That's
I'll
his
probably
secret
just shrug
ranking.
that off, to be honest. You need to hit
That's
me
his-
with at least 10 vans.
That's his secret. He likes getting hit by vans.
Damn it, he's a masochist. What do I do? I guess I ignore him then. That's the only option.
I like that one offended hey from Oobly in chat, and it's like, dude, we don't know what that's for. We've insulted you like 5 times in the last 30 seconds. I don't know which one are you annoyed by?
There is no, but he said there's a raise joke to be made there, and you know what? You're right. But
There is almost always a raised joke to be made somewhere.
yeah. Anyway, though, yeah, so, like, Hal wakes up John by just dumping a bucket of water on his head. I thought that was fine. But, and
I thought it was funny in the first episode. I don't really get why he did it again.
did he do that in the first
I
episode?
don't
remember he
remember.
did.
He
I
did.
remember that was in the trailer.
He did. No, he did. Yeah, he did.
No, because,
Alright, maybe it's a
wait,
thing.
did he? Yeah.
Pretty sure because they had a totally different reaction from John both times.
Okay, then maybe, but the whole flying thing, the idea, like, okay, I kind of liked the idea how it's just like fly. Well, I was a pilot, so it's annoying because I think the actual like execution of it is really bad because it's like, well, as you well know, I was a pilot, so flying comes naturally to me.
Yeah.
That part was kind of like really cringe, and the dialogue was really cringe.
They
like
kind
the
of lampshade
idea.
it with a line from John as well, where he's like, "Yes, I know that very well," or whatever. He's like, he kind of cuts him off, and it's like, "Yeah, we see what you're doing,"
Yeah.
but it's still a bit forced.
That's half the problem with this show, right? It's a wild swing between, yeah, we see what you're doing, and what the fuck are you even trying to do?
Yeah.
Yeah. So as far as him making the bird, while he's trying to fly, first off, I feel like so one of my favorite scenes in the comics so far, it's part of that Rebirth Jeff Johns collection that you know Dake, that I've been reading. There's
do.
a point where he takes Kyle up in his jet, and he like makes a point of, no, we're leaving the ring here. We're leaving the rings here. think the whole idea is it's almost like this idea of there's something different to Hal when it comes to flying in a jet versus flying with the ring. Like the ring, and my impression of that has always been the ring. Not only does the ring make it simple, but Hal does have an actual like real love of aircraft, and you can't really simulate that with the ring.
Sure you can. You just make a plane.
I mean, you can simulate, but you know the flying with the ring, you can't simulate it with flying with the ring in the same way. And John kind of puts a lot of value into, or not John, Hal puts a lot of value into this. That's always been, but there's also the idea of like Hal is a
I think you're kind
flyboy.
of. I think you're kind of overthinking this a bit. I think it's meant to just be that the inclination is there for him to fly.
Yeah, yeah, and I like that as like a setup. Like, okay, there's some correlation there that might make flying easier for Hal than it might for the average Green Lantern recruit. I can buy that, even though, at least in the comics, it seems to be fairly easy. Okay, maybe in this world it's not.
Nobody wants to know how the hell does the bird construct work with John not wearing the ring. We have no clue, dude. We don't know.
That's where we were getting to. That's actually where we're getting to. Is my like big main criticism for just this scene too. It's like outside of all this character stuff, yeah, the bird appears, and then Hal's just like, yeah, just keep that going, keep that thing around, I guess. Uh, by the way, I need you to go get the lantern battery because for some reason I just didn't bother to fucking bring it with me.
Yeah, and then on screen, John gets knocked unconscious at least twice, and
Yeah,
somehow the bird remains
yeah.
alive.
The
At least twice, and presumably sleeps at some point in all this travel.
Yep, yeah, because he had to actually hop on a plane.
Well,
Or
it's Nebraska. It's Nebraska to California, one way or the other. Like that's what
yeah.
6-7 hours each way.
Actually, wait. Let me just.
Could be a little more, actually.
Let's just go with maps. Well, it has to be coast city, so it's a coastal city in Nebraska, or I mean in California, not in Nebraska. That would be weird.
A coastal city in Nebraska. That would
They
be
just built a
notable.
big
That
canal so
would
that they
be
could have a
notable.
coastal city.
I'm just imagining a massive, like, weird spike through the country that stops in Nebraska. No, a coastal city in California, so it's gonna be like the coast city is kind of implied to be kind of a San Diego, Los Angeles, San Francisco, kind of what a city similar to that.
Yeah, I think the lore used to have it at somewhere around 14 million population before the boom. So decent size.
Okay,
You know, 3 times the population of my country.
I was gonna say let's just go ahead and look up Los Angeles to, let's say, Omaha.
But if they did that, wouldn't it just be more Lake City?
How big does a lake have to be before it's the sea?
At least
Well,
two, maybe three.
the Great Lakes are bigger than some seas, and they're not called seas. So
Is it because they're not connected to the rest of the seas?
I think it might be because they're freshwater.
Yeah, I think it is because they're from.
Oh. So if you dug a big hole in the center of the U.S. and then poured a load of salt in there.
Well, I suppose you could just
Oh,
you could simplify matters and just dump a load of water on Utah.
I was gonna say Utah, yeah, because Utah has the salt flat, or the salt flat, which I've seen, by the way. It's kind of eerie just to see that.
Did you see it before or after you saw Last Jedi?
This
I was
would have
gonna
been
say
before, because this would have been.
Oh yeah, in that case it would be eerie as opposed to just disappointing and horrifying.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, does that mean that a puddle on that planet in in The Last Jedi is automatically a C.
Yes.
To an ant
Okay.
on that planet, I suppose, yes.
No, I'm just gonna say yes because it's funny. Okay, let's see. Google Maps. Let's say Los.
Oobly, does it have to be Middle America states, or can I just choose Oregon? Actually, fuck it. I'm just choosing Oregon. It's like the new park of America.
Okay, wait. It's so a drive to Omaha from Los Angeles is 23 hours and 19 minutes.
Oh,
So
he probably didn't sleep.
probably like 6 or 7 hours flight then.
About 3 hours and 20 minutes. Flight.
Oh, okay. Well, then in that case, yeah, maybe he didn't sleep, but he did get knocked out twice, so that's still fucked anyway.
I mean, is there a meaningful difference between getting knocked unconscious and going to sleep when it comes to concentration?
Actually, not just knocked out twice. He also had that fucking alien feel our pain, see our retribution
Yeah,
brain video thing, which, I
Yeah.
mean, that presumably has to fuck with your concentration.
which, as we
Yep.
discussed on the thing, was a really disappointing scene as well because it was
Yeah,
like
so
it was basically just him screaming for 10 seconds and then all of a sudden it's over. It's like we didn't get much of a sense of the kind
Yeah,
of
I mean,
horrors that he was probably witnessing.
considering everything your man was talking about and the way it was presented, you'd kind of expect like some sort of vision scene from John's perspective, you know, like a hint of these atrocities that were
Yeah.
literally only being hinted at. It's why
like
do
some
this?
flashes of just like genocide or whatever, like or just some scenes of fire and like buildings exploding.
I mean,
I don't
dude,
know,
you
just
don't
anything.
need much. Like we know from the trailers that we see like classic Manhunter look. So can we not just see like the back of a rank of Manhunters advancing and shooting
Oh,
down innocent silhouettes? Like you don't have to.
Yeah.
You
and
don't have to. You
by the
know,
way, guys,
make it incredibly detailed.
I have an answer on the Utah question. There is actually something in Utah called the Great Salt Lake.
Yes.
So that's not
I-
a C.
I-
That's not counted as a C either.
Well, probably because of the lack of water.
Well, no. It is water. It is a body of water called the Great Salt Lake.
Isn't there
Oh.
like a Salt Lake City?
Yeah,
isn't there a place?
Yes, but
that
that's
is
on
the
the
origin
salt
of it.
flats though.
But yeah, it's an actual lake. If you look on a map of America, you can actually see the body of water.
Now, Rangi, I, like most Americans these days, do not make a practice of looking at American geography. Really? Thought that I'd get a giggle out of someone.
Well, look, Americans. A lot of Americans do know American geography. It's just everywhere else, because
Yeah, they
everywhere
just
else
don't know
is
any other geography.
inferior.
It's worth knowing though.
Not really. We'll learn it once we make it that America. There we go.
I mean, you joke about that, but I actually think sometimes that is kind of the underlying assumption in your guys' minds.
I mean, no, I believe
I mean,
it.
Greenland is just step one in a multiple step plan.
I mean, look.
Greenland. They haven't even made Puerto Rico a state yet. You think Greenland is going to become a state?
I mean, true,
I
we
don't
have
think
it.
that.
To be fair, Puerto Rico has a lot of like debts. That's why we don't want to make it a state, because then we'd have to adopt those debts.
Yeah, that and the fact that if you did, you've sent so much fucking money to Haiti, you'd have to adopt them as well.
I mean, hey, I'd be fine with adopting Haiti. Let's do it. Let's colonize them.
Yeah,
Oh,
fine.
I don't know. I don't
But
know if you want
we're
to do that, right? It doesn't historically go super well.
but
You can
What if we
colonize
I'm
just-
sorry,
us if you
chat.
want.
I'm sorry, chat. As you can tell, we are talking about anything and everything we can to avoid talking about goddamn lanterns.
but what if we just send Green Lantern to Haiti?
Which one?
Yes.
Because, I mean, if we send this John to Haiti, he might just end up forming an army of angry racists.
That's true. That's true.
So I feel like that might not be the best idea. Hal. I feel like Hal will probably be safe. This Hal will probably be
I
safe
think
in
Hal,
Haiti. Yeah, he's probably just gonna find a decent bar and just hang out.
I was gonna say Hal's just gonna find like a decent bar on a beach and like chill for like the rest of his
Yeah.
life.
I mean,
Guy,
I feel like this universe guy probably pretty much the same thing actually.
He doesn't need to
Um,
go to Haiti for that though. He could just go to the beach in Nebraska.
and Simon Baz. Yes, I don't know who that is, but we'll send him.
Oh, let's not. Simon occupies a really unfortunate position in the Green Lantern in the human Green Lantern pyramid. He was the cringiest human Green Lantern until they made that fucking tween black girl super girl boss lantern. Now he's just the
She
second
sounds
most cringe
cool.
one.
We should
Uh,
put her in the show.
Oh well, if you like the sound of her, you're gonna love Simon. So you may be familiar with the description of the ring as the most powerful weapon in the universe. They use it a lot. It's kind of the tagline for the ring.
Is this the one that carries a
Yes,
gun?
yes, it is. So Simon Baz was created, God, like 2012, something like that, give or take that era. And he is a Muslim American, not my words, comic words. I don't remember his exact descent, genealogy.
He was a Muslim called Simon.
Yes, I know. Yeah, I know.
Simon Baz. Baz doesn't even sound like a Middle Eastern name. But you guys could have done better.
But he gets the ring. Good for him. Good boy. Obviously, in order to get the ring, you have fulfilled all the criteria of every other Green Lantern that's ever existed, and you are not terribly afflicted by fear. Well, if you are, you can push through it and still get the job done, because that's the criteria, right? That's what a Green Lantern is. So,
Yeah.
Simon must have done that, right?
Yeah.
Except Simon is the only Green Lantern in the entire universe to carry a secondary weapon. Simon carries a pistol as a sidearm, just in case. Because it's saved him in America in the past when he had to deal with other gangbangers and religious crazies. I'm not joking. Like, this is his character. This is a real thing. Yeah. Most powerful weapon in the universe. But carry your Beretta just in case.
I mean, I guess I wouldn't mind somebody who's like, well, look, because if for some reason I don't have my ring,
this would make sense. This would make sense with Hal or John.
yeah,
Like,
they're
it would
both
actually make
military
sense
men.
with the military man. It would make sense. Like, you would want to
And-
have a sidearm. You would be accustomed to having a sidearm there. It's totally normal.
I could even
For
see
Guy,
him for like
even
a
for Guy, it would
cop.
make sense actually because his dad was a cop.
Yeah, I could see it for a cop as well, or like even I could even see it for just somebody who's from like a very open carry. Oh,
Well, nope, no. Simon, most powerful weapon in the universe, does not hold up to a Beretta.
but have we considered what would happen if he makes a Beretta using the ring? How powerful would that be?
Well, I think we can safely conclude, Rangi, that even if we did, he obviously at no point did. Like, I'm carrying a gun, but you can make a gun. I'm carrying a gun.
I mean, like I said, I can kind of understand the idea of like, oh, I might have a backup in case, like, for one
You just
thing.
have to wonder. You
Oh,
just have to wonder what thought process went into it, right? Like, okay, we want one of them that has like a sidearm. Why? Because he's paranoid. Because he's worried. Because he's like, okay,
oh,
what's his story? We're gonna make him Muslim 10 years after 9/11. Like, oh, guys, I don't. I don't know if that sends the
Yeah,
message you think it does.
yeah, that.
I don't know. That's a
Well,
choice.
you know what would be interesting if maybe he had a backstory where it was some kind of technology and like so he's paranoid more about the ring's power level and that's why he carries a gun.
Now, I will be fair. I do think that there was something. There was something there. I don't remember what it was. I just remember it being really weak. And Jess being a much more interesting character. And they were introduced more or less at the same time, like quite close together anyway.
Yeah,
She was way more interesting.
yeah, so anyway, as far as Lantern's storyline goes, yeah, so with the scene, yeah, Hal does make the bird, kind of discuss the bird
No,
at length.
John makes the bird.
Well, no, yeah, John. For some reason, my brain keeps mixing up their names, but yeah, uh, John makes the bird when he's trying to fly, and I guess Hal doesn't seem to react that much, but apparently this is supposed to be like super impressive. We learn later.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
he has like a kind of
we
reaction that
don't
says like,
we
"Huh,
don't
I
actually
wasn't
know if it
expecting that."
is though. Like, is there any reason to take your man's word for it that this is semi impossible?
Yeah, I mean, it would
I mean,
make
okay, I shouldn't be saying that. Like lore wise, I'm sitting here as a comic nerd going, no, that's fucking no way. Like, but like in their universe, I
yeah.
sound like a valley girl. I'm saying like so much. What the fuck is wrong with me?
In like their
Yeah, but like,
universe, I need another drink because you know I'm an
Oh
Irishman.
no, I just heard it there. That's horrible.
and then Hal
Um,
was like, "Oh my god, did he just make a bird? Oh, holy hell!"
My God,
but
what a
in
bird brain, am I right?
all right, calm down, calm down. In universe though, we don't have any reason other than probable indeterminate alien man's word.
Yeah, I mean, no, but Hal does react in a kind of, huh, like that was pretty strange. Well, at the time when it happens, but he doesn't say anything, so we don't get any more context other than his kind of
The,
befuddled look.
these assholes behind the pens in the writing room, they are actually capable of writing good stuff, and they are capable of a degree of subtlety.
Hey,
Maybe not all the time,
Where did
but
you get
all
that
of,
from?
well, mostly their other work actually, and I'm
Oh.
mostly discounting Lindelof with that one, and I'm kind of being generous to Tom King, but hey, fuck you, Tom King. By the way, sorry, it slipped my mind to say it
Wow,
today.
that is uncalled for.
I can't
I
believe
don't
you
know.
want to fuck him. You haven't
I think
even
it's
bought
kind
him
of
a drink
I
yet.
think it's kind of
No,
called
I
for.
agree.
I think it's kind of
I
called
agree.
for. Still haven't gotten over superheroes in crisis. Anyway,
Yeah, I just think it's weird you want to fuck him when you haven't even bought him a drink yet.
no, I don't want to fuck him. I want him to fuck him.
Oh, okay. So you just want to see him
I don't
masturbate?
want
Okay.
I don't want to be involved in the process at all. I don't want to even see it. I just want confirmation from an independent source that it's happened, hopefully painfully.
Okay. That's a strange kink, but you do you, King.
Look, man, you know the closest thing I have to a kink, and it's got nothing to do with Tom King. All right, the man is
Oh.
not an attractive redheaded woman.
I was gonna say he is
Oh, I
not
thought you were
redheaded.
talking about the kink regarding a certain YouTube woman.
Oh, that's not a kink. That's just an inexplicable attraction.
Oh,
Look, he just likes retarded women. Okay.
I would consider it so strange as to be qualifying as a kink.
Well, wait, but you have. I just think she's funny and retarded.
Oh yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at.
Oobly thinks we're spending too much time together.
He probably, to be honest.
We definitely are.
But okay, so with the bird thing, it's interesting. Hal kind of just like moves on with it. He's kind of just like, oh, okay, so now, so the ring is low on charge, but I've got a quick fix for that. He just slams the ring, and then it's like, oh, 5%, which that's kind of the tech joke, right? You know, it's like you, that's what it is, but it's like I don't think that's gonna work with the rings. and if it does, it's
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah, like
But
why is the ring so sort of temperamental that it can just be bumped up in charge by banging it on a car? Like it just seems kind of
yeah, this is
like it's
literally the greatest. Yeah, like it's I think I would find it a funny joke in isolation, but this is supposed to be the greatest weapon in the This is the greatest. Basically, it's the most complicated technology in the universe.
yeah. Apart from of course the
Yeah,
metal
yeah.
metal detectors.
Yeah, metal detectors are a little more complex than that. But with that whole thing, then Hal is just like, by the way, John, I need you to fly out to Coast City and get me the power battery. It's like I remember thinking like, wait, but that construct still is there. Like that's taking power. Obviously, it has to be.
Yeah, actually that's something we didn't really think about at the time, as far as I can remember. Yeah, that bird is
I
surely
said it.
taking up
I said it.
juice.
I said it at the time. Yeah,
He
it has to
did
be.
in the
Oh,
recording.
fair
Yeah.
enough.
Um.
But even still, that makes it even more silly that Hal decides to fly into the air in about like 2 minutes time.
Well, it's interesting, right? Because like, not only does he, but he also gives. So I get the idea this is a test. It's supposed to be, and it is actually seriously supposed to be a test. But the thing about it is, it doesn't work because John doesn't like. For one thing, the bird just shouldn't be able to just. It just shouldn't. Like, that is not how the rings work at all.
Yeah, like shouldn't the
Um,
bird do basically act as like a drone or something, and it
that's
does whatever the user tells it to do, but apart from that, it kind of just ceases to exist.
I mean, that's kind of how it's supposed to work, but they're treating it as okay, it's a subconscious sort of projection, so it's supposed to be something about John's psyche. But yeah, outside of that, even then, yeah, John would have had to have lost concentration at some point because he is literally knocked unconscious twice. Not only is he not doesn't seem to be particularly strained or like focusing on it at all, but then he does actually actively lose concentration twice in that he loses consciousness twice. You can't concentrate while you're not conscious. That's not how that works.
Yeah.
No, that is not how that works. But apparently it is for him.
Yeah,
All right.
I mean, it's almost there in the words. It's like, how could you possibly be concentrating if you aren't
I guess we have
conscious?
to
It's just like,
assume Hal was at the concentration thing. But it's like at that point, like I don't know.
but
Or
then what's the
alien guy.
explanation?
Or alien guy is lying, but I don't really see what reason there is for either of them to lie.
Yeah. Um. Out.
I'm just gonna grab a drink. I'll be right back, guys.
Yeah. Outside of that, uh, Hal also asked John to feed his. What we learn later, we hear later is we hear as Earl, and I immediately assumed it was gonna be some kind of alien thing or something like that. We learn,
Yeah.
which by the way, we have a lot of cringe with the whole like, oh, John is a vegan, he has to hold this thing of meat, and I'm thinking like,
Yeah.
okay,
It doesn't, like, I think you said it at the time. It's like that whole scene.
there's no
It
point
lasts
to it.
probably like 5 minutes, and it just doesn't give us anything at all.
There's a point where it almost makes a point or has a purpose, and then they just like cut away, or no, it's not even just
Which one
that.
are we at now?
We're talking about the plant.
Oh, yeah. I'm wondering. I have a theory. It's not very important. Like it's not a world building thing or anything. It's not a theory exactly, I suppose. I'm wondering if that was also supposed to be like a form of Easter egg. That thing kind of looked a little bit like a Black Mercy.
Maybe, the thing about it is that whole scene goes on for like 4 or 5 minutes, and it doesn't actually serve any purpose in the narrative whatsoever. It's actually
Well,
crazy that
it lets John reinforce how much morally superior he is to everyone else by virtue of being a vegan.
yeah,
He's morally superior to a carnivorous plant.
well, it's interesting too because he almost has like when he's talking to the plant, he almost kind of has like a moment of like exchanging like thoughts too. What's essentially like a soundboard, essentially, like
Yeah,
thinking on
they came within hairs of having a character moment there. They
yeah
almost did, and then they realized it and had to run away very, very swiftly.
yeah, and then they kill it for a joke, and then it's like, okay, so you just wasted my fucking time. Okay, great.
Look, Reggie, you just have to accept John doesn't have a character. John is
Yeah.
stoic, except when he's not. John is fearless,
Except when he's
to
not.
the point of absurdity.
Well, no, but
Kind
he's
of.
not. He's particularly cautious about the plant. He's not even like oddly fearless. He's almost like he's fearless except when he's not, because it would be stupid to be fearless in this moment. Oh,
He's into
Yeah, that is
guilt,
my problem kind
except
of
when
with
he's not.
huh?
yeah, he's not afraid of STIs. That's one thing for
He's
sure.
apparently not afraid of boning the wife of the guy in charge of a heavily armed militia
Yeah. And then
that you went and ate with and will have to return to close proximity to, if not literally return to. So
yeah, and then after he leaves the building, that's when we get the scene where he is abducted, and we compliment in the actual recording this fight scene because it was very efficient. It was very believable. John puts up enough of a struggle to believe like he is competent, and he is like
Yeah,
he is somebody who knows how to fight. That's clear. But the problem
yeah,
is
yeah,
he is
no, the fight scene's
taken.
pretty. It's pretty tight. It's pretty tight. The
Yeah,
editing's
it's
pretty
only a few
decent.
minutes
The action's
too.
pretty good.
It's only like a
It's,
minute at most.
it is. Yeah, no, it is. It's very short and it's very I was gonna say it's very short and it's very brief, and in my head that made sense.
Mhm.
Um, it
yeah.
is
Well,
very short, but
ultimately,
it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
It's
well,
it's
yeah, and
no it's
he's
no it's no
caught.
Daredevil season one, but
yeah,
Yeah,
it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly serviceable. There's nothing particularly wrong with it.
it came across as very believable, and John still comes across as kind of like a competent fighter in it, but he's a
yeah,
competent fighter that's been taken off guard and like
yeah, exactly.
completely unequipped to deal with it because the other side also has weapons like a taser,
I feel really bad for
multiple
Aaron Pierre with
people.
the show, guys. I really do.
I
Like
yes,
there is a talented, charismatic, and like quite likable actor underneath there, and they're giving him this to set him up as Jon Stewart going forward.
yeah,
Yeah,
he is he's doing the best with what he's got too. Like I
He is.
do
He really is.
that's kind of why I can't say I hate John in the story
I'm
for
getting
most
there.
of it.
I'm getting there. Like I
Oh,
can separate the art from the artist in this case. I'm not quite at I hate John, but I'm closer than I
oh,
expected to be. I
I
thought I
I've
would basically not really care about John because that's what most of his portrayals are.
yeah,
yeah.
well,
And
And
instead,
he's up there with my least favorite characters, or down there rather, whichever. As
yeah,
well.
I think that the big thing carrying his character is John Pierre's acting, because I do get the impression the idea is so it's definite that the idea is he is kind of the put upon person where he is expected to replace Hal really doesn't want him. He really wants to actually have this role because he wants to help people. He
I mean, I
he
don't know, man.
did
Even
have
that, I have
the
certain questions about. Like he's talked to one Guardian, John, but he's a trainee. And he's expected to secretly report on Hal to this Guardian? Like this is not the system.
that too. But yeah,
I'm leaning. This is the comic book side of my brain. I'm leaning towards thinking that Guardian. I know I said this before, but I'm more and more convinced with everything we see. She almost has to be Scar.
yeah, yeah. By the way, can we talk about that van scene? Because that whole thing was fucking ludicrous.
Well, I mean, like we said, we complimented the scene immediately preceding it, and then I even mentioned how the cut from the moment he hits the ground to him being in the van is actually like quite an
Yeah,
efficient
yes.
use of the editing to make it nice and sort of snappy. And then immediately we get into this fight scene in the back of the van where all sorts of mental chaos is going on. The bird is like distracting the driver, and somehow the driver remains
Well,
on the road.
I'm almost like, if you're going to go through the effort of abducting him, you're not going to just restrain him better than this? Like,
I'm
Yeah,
still not
he's just
clear on that scene with the bird. So let's just run through it for a second, right? So we're in the van. John is zip cuffed,
yeah.
and he wakes up, blah blah blah, and then he says, after blah blah blah, "Where's my bird?" And Guy goes, basically, "Don't worry, your bird is safe." And he opens the hands to reveal the bird. Right? Fine
yeah,
and dandy. We all agree that's how it happened. Okay.
Yep.
yeah.
And then, no sooner has he opened his hands than Bird gets out and starts causing a distraction to the level of going directly to the driver and fucking around with him. So, do we think then that this is, and I hesitate to use the word instinctive, but for want of a better one, do we think this is instinctive behavior on the part of the solid light construct?
The bird does act as
Or did John direct the bird to help him?
yeah. See, that's the thing. I think if John had the ring on, I would think it would be the latter. But the bird does act as though it's got some kind of mind of its own, which is just weird.
It definitely seems to be trying to actively help in that scene, which is weird because it didn't in any scene before that. But in the van, it seems to be actively helpful.
And like Rangi said as well, John being really, really minorly tied up is just stupid, considering the fact that he's already proven himself to be hostile to the idea of being abducted, but also has proven himself to be capable of defending himself to an extent. And if they give him time to, face up the people he's fighting without being, hooded, he's probably got a decent chance of causing them some issues. And yet they still leave him with just a shitty little zip tie on his hands. And he also somehow, I said this at the time, but we didn't really pay attention to it. The zip tie just sort of comes off after like a bit
Yeah,
of a scuffle, and it's like,
this this is one of those things that I've no- I've I highlighted in the first episode, but I'll highlight it again. It excuse me. It's one of those things where it's very clear that the writers don't understand how things work. Zip
yeah,
ties are, as somebody who, when as a child, me and my brothers, we did retarded shit, and one of them was, I remember specifically me, being zip tied because we thought it would be like a funny, like a haha, thing that led into like some kind of game, and then like
yeah.
actually not being able to get out.
Yeah, well, I mean, at my job, we use zip ties very often
Yeah.
to
Well,
secure like hydraulic pipes in place on like really heavy machinery. Like they're fucking tough, and they don't break
well,
easily,
They are.
and they
it's
certainly don't come out of
it,
place,
it's it's
often.
almost like they're
Rangi knows what my real job is.
yeah,
I
yeah.
use them also on a fairly daily basis.
Well,
Oh yeah, of course.
well, the old adage of you can fit, basically it's, you've had a rural upbringing when you know how to fix anything with duct tape, zip ties, and or WD-40.
Yeah, but like
You
these
guys,
people
you
are
guys,
very
you
clear.
guys are trying too hard. We don't even use zip ties. If it's moving and it shouldn't, use duct tape. If it's not moving and it should, use WD-40.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. But no, but it is clear that these guys, the writers, have just never used a zip tie in their life, because like if someone can just rip them open with the power of their own wrists, then they're
Mm.
pretty much useless as
I
like
was gonna say
Yeah, and
it's
incidentally,
you know,
they can't.
equipment.
Like,
Yeah.
they can't. Like, a very strong guy and very thin cable tie, yeah, fine. But anything more substantial, and yeah, no, sorry, bro. You're gonna cause yourself substantial damage, and that's about it.
I mean, there's a reason why people use them in
well,
in films and
it's
stuff to secure people. Like, if they were shit and didn't do the job, then
oh,
you wouldn't use them.
it's
Well, if you have a little
contradictory.
if you have a little bit of dexterity and a small knife, you can open them very easily.
yeah,
But
yeah.
just
That's
Yeah.
the
pulling
thing.
pulling your way out of them, no, like no way, bro.
It was dumb. It's
By
just
the
dumb.
by
It's
the
very
way,
dumb.
the way I just saw this Grace Randolph thing described. This is why Grace Randolph rules. I'm just reading a tweet. I don't agree with these opinions. I've not seen this clip.
Rangi, don't just read the tweet. Put the tweet up. Put the tweet up. Let the chat see the tweet. Let's see it. Let's all
Okay.
glory in the tweet.
Let
Yeah, I wanna see
me
it for the
go
first
ahead
time online.
and use snipping. Yeah, I can just use snipping tool in this. Okay. Let me do that so that I can just snip the tweet without catching anything that I would be. Let me crop that a little just so it's a little bit more better for stream.
You know, you're talking to yourself so much right now. I'm actually starting to wonder, when Oobly said that the two of us were spending too much time together, did he mean that you were a bad influence on me, or did he mean that I'm a bad influence on you?
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can support that.
But yeah, zip ties are notably easy to break. That's why we use them for so many things. I'll say that.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Chain, also famously flimsy.
Exactly. Well, I mean, when have you heard chain being able to like restrain something or stop something?
Yeah, no, that just wouldn't make any sense. File.
All right, here is the. Let me shrink. Wait, this is why Grace Randolph rules. She'll casually drop the rawest and most brutal, incisive observation nobody has ever dared to say in the midst of otherwise lunacy. Well, actually, that's just a true statement on Grace Randolph.
That's that's kind of true though.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean that's the thing about her.
but
You
I
can
mean, really, I
never
think
That has
he's
been-
not that great in terms of casting, to be
That has
honest with
been
you.
known to happen.
He looks like a Hal
I
Jordan you
mean,
found
I don't
between
know,
the
man,
sofa
there's just-
cushions.
Grace is just
He also looks a
she's
little
such
bit
an
like James
interesting
Gunn's
person.
dog, so maybe that's just a look James Gunn likes.
Oh, okay, hold on. Dake, did I actually did that play?
But I mean, really, I think he's not that great
Oh,
in
it
terms
did.
of casting.
Okay. I'm just gonna play it again because it's apparently if I play it, it does come through on the stream.
To be honest with you, he looks like a Hal Jordan you found between the sofa cushions. He also looks a little bit like James Gunn's dog, so maybe that's just a look James Gunn likes.
Yeah. So that came through on stream. Dake, you guys can go ahead and like look at the tweet yourself. So, it's gonna be in. You were actually tagged with it, so.
He looks like a Hal Jordan you'd find down between the couch cushions.
That's kind of true, unfortunately.
Oh, Grace, never change.
Yeah. But yeah, kind of does like. Honestly, I think I disliked Hal a lot more this episode than I did the first episode. The first episode, there's kind of a charm to it, and there's still a charm I think to him. He is. I said this earlier, but I don't think he's like the loser sort of like Luke in TLJ or whatever. He clearly cares about doing the job. It's just he's kind of undermined, and everything he does is being undermined, and it almost feels like the writers really just really hate Hal. It's John Walker vibes. That's what I get from him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do
kind of
think
actually.
he's kind of supposed to be. We're kind of supposed to feel a little bit more and more every episode as the same as the people of Rushville, is it? Think of him?
Rushville, yeah.
Yeah. Because obviously everyone else seems to be getting a little bit more frustrated with his presence in the town, and I feel like that's kind of how we're supposed to start feeling. And we're supposed to sort of edge more onto John's
But
side.
I'm more just annoyed that like he's not just able to like just work with the law enforcement to like do his job, and also like I said, there's so much stuff where it is just weird. Also, I guess
I've had an epiphany, and I'm calling it now. I think I understand. I am willing to make a wager.
no, what
A
is it?
wager I'm almost sure to regret. I don't know, Rangi, because I'm going to leave it open-ended for both of you. I'm going to treat it with server rules for a wager. I will watch something.
Okay, fair enough.
I think that we are going to see the final shot of this, or one of the final shots of this show, is going to be they will find thing that was on ship that is buried on compound, and I am now almost sure that I know what it's going to be. I think it's going to be a yellow lantern.
Okay, that'd be interesting. I'll take up that wager. I think it's gonna be something much more mundane. Actually, I think they want to use the yellow lanterns for later.
No, they're doing too much hinting towards the spectrum. They're doing way too much use of yellow in the color palette and the lighting. And I mean, okay, Sinestro lore-wise, you'd bring him in. Yeah, fair enough. There's no arguing that. But considering everything else they're doing, there's like the connotations are too strong. The connections are too readily obvious. Like
Yeah. Okay. Well,
it's not the kind of thing where you could do, haha, we were subversive because we brought Sinestro in and we didn't do yellow rings. Like you can't do that. Like he's had a yellow ring for nearly 40 years. Like you're not being clever. You're just being an asshole.
yeah. So anyway, if we get back into the actual story, Hal somehow does escape his bonds, and he does like get out of the van, and he's just
John.
jogging into traffic. It's just
And
running
then
into traffic.
he has to spend the next 90 seconds frantically chasing his green bird.
Yeah, like as though the bird. Because look, realistically, John would probably just be like, "I'm just gonna fail the test because I'm trying to actually survive," and running
We
into
have to-
traffic is retarded on the
We have to
highway.
get Rangi, we have to get Lulu to cut in some whiplash footage for the bird.
That is true. He
Yeah.
does. Yep.
My bird.
Where is my
I
bird?
want my bird.
I want my bird.
And then the way that John gets captured again is a van kind of makes a turn because obviously they don't want to hit him, but it literally turns into him and definitely smashes into him. You can't tell me otherwise. This is why the van
Hang on.
smashing.
I actually take exception with that description. Hang on a second. Your second line there was a van that definitely doesn't want to hit him. I don't agree with that, Rangi. That van absolutely
that is
aimed to
true.
sideswipe the shit out of him. Like they treated
Maybe
him
it
like
was
a
a
target in
racist.
Burnout.
Maybe it was a racist. Maybe they were just like black man alive.
Maybe the driver was the Imperial Grand Wizard of the local chapter.
I was gonna say, so they're like, it's a black man on the highway. This is my chance. I have plausible deniability. Let's go.
Yeah. Nah, listen, we don't know for sure that he was hit. You know, he could have just closed his eyes just before the van got to him.
Yeah, and then
Yes.
That's why the screen
And
blacks
then
out.
and then stood
Yeah.
there, and the bad guys just walked over, grabbed it, and be like, "Okay, get back in the van, dumbass."
and
Yeah,
casually
they
and
went,
patiently.
wow, that was close.
Well, no, that can't be true because we know he didn't know where the bird was.
That is true.
Yeah, because he closed his eyes.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you got me. Closed his eyes. Damn it, wily John Stewart.
Yeah, but don't worry, guys. If you thought the plot armor extends only to minorities, we actually learned it doesn't. Because guess who's going and getting himself shot in the meantime, and then gets over it in a day?
Now, Rangi, we've been over this. The show made it very clear that it was an expertly placed, very clean, through and through shot with no lasting damage, which of course means that he will be out of there in maybe 4 to 6 hours wearing his jacket with his arm in the sleeve under the sling.
Oh, that's true. Bullet wounds are notably like easy to recover from, even through and through.
Famously
Especially
not
through and
painful.
through. Yeah, it's not
Especially from a
painful.
sniper rifle.
Oh, that's true. Actually, wait. That is a hunting rifle of some kind, at least. Maybe a sniper rifle. If it's a sniper rifle, no, motherfucker, that guy,
Do you know?
he might
Well, you're
actually still lose some like mobility
you're
in
looking
that
at
arm.
you're looking at probably a 308.
Okay, yeah, he is losing mobility in the arm, possibly
Like
perfect.
smallest is going to be 5.56. Biggest is going to be 308.
Yeah,
And you know what as well? The guy who, you know, we're supposed to believe that this guy is such an expert marksman. He's like literally like Hawkeye. Like he shoots him directly in the muscle. It
Well,
goes
in
straight through.
fairness,
Doesn't
in
tear any.
fairness, he obviously is a pretty decent shot. He's got some sort
Yeah,
of
yeah.
scoped rifle. He's maybe 100 foot away, and it's a stationary target. Like, I mean,
Oh.
Yeah. I'm not denying that he's a professional, but
and I do. That's
Hal
what I'm
moves.
saying is that's actually a pretty fucking easy shot.
Yeah, but Hal moves right at the moment because the reason he shoots him is because the guy says like, you know, we're done here. You can leave now, and he basically says
Well, he basically
says
said
that, you know, if you move
says
any
get off
closer,
my
we're gonna shoot
property.
you.
Yeah, he says
Yeah,
get
he
off
says
my
if you take one more
property.
step, we'll shoot you. And
Yeah,
Hal
but
moves,
Which
and
yeah,
the
but
guy
he doesn't.
shoots
He
him
doesn't.
like
Yeah, but he doesn't fundamentally change the profile that he's presenting to the shooter. So the target doesn't really change, if you get what I mean.
well, the thing
Yeah.
about it is you can't just you literally cannot just
Also,
even
anyone
in
with any kind of
America,
sniper training isn't aiming at the target. They're going to be trying to lead the target.
even in America, for one thing, you can't just go ahead and say, "Yeah, I'm just gonna shoot you now. Get off my property, or I'm gonna shoot you." You actually do have to be in. You have to be able to argue that they were a threat to your life in some way. At least in
I
most
can
states. I
think of
don't know
one
about
island where they
Nebraska
probably.
specifically. I don't know about Nebraska specifically. Wait, one island. I know
No,
in.
it's okay. We can move on. It's fine. We don't need to follow that train of thought.
But yeah,
Nebraska Island.
Yes, Nebraska Island.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I knew. See, we're on the same page.
well, there's some lakes in Nebraska. Maybe there's an island.
Wait, is that the answer to the earlier question? What happens if you just dump a load of water on a mid state? We get Nebraska Island.
Hmm.
Is this the opposite of what Alexander did with Tyr? You guys don't know that one?
No, I
No.
don't. But this is
When Alexander laid siege to Tyr, it was an island. He was so fucked off with the fact it was an island, he had his men build a land bridge that still exists to this day.
well, the whole
Oh, wow.
situation with First of all, Hal's gonna know, like, hey, I, hey, I'm probably not gonna be able to, like, the whole scene relies on for Hal just acting retarded. Like, he knows it.
Well, no, the whole show does. Like, this goes back to what I said earlier about the scan function of the ring. Like, it takes no fucking power. It is one of the most basic things any lantern would do in any situation, anywhere. It's like, it is the entry
Yeah.
thing. Like, you land, you go scanning, and then you talk to the local. Like,
Well,
it's so silly.
the earlier
Why?
stuff with
I know
Hal.
the show wants to show us how clever he's being working out these fucking clues and like, okay, this is clearly not a metal scanner, blah 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 blah. Like, okay, great, very very clever, very very layered, clever writing, excellent, well done.
Well,
However, in all of your layered, clever writing, trying to get so badly to the point you wanted to show, which is how clever your writing is, you completely and fundamentally ignored, not misunderstood, but ignored a basic function of every one of the rings. It's so basic that it's actually autonomic to the rings. They will do it without being told to do it.
That is true.
Except apparently Hal's one.
But this is the thing. So with the Hal stuff, we have the investigation stuff where he learns that the metal detector doesn't seem to detect metal, and then he grabs the bodies and he learns that apparently just detects aliens. By the way, but how would that metal detector respond to the ring? Like,
I mean, the ring wouldn't necessarily be recognized as metal by an Earth metal detector.
that's true.
Now, that's being a little bit generous, but I mean, there's no real reason to think
well,
it
but
would
this
be.
is the thing
It's not like
that's
it's not like it's made of silver or something, you know.
yeah. But yeah, that whole thing exists there, and then yeah, he has the thing with the bodies, which okay, the detector seems to just register those as something. Well, rather the cameras that are set up. Which, by the way, the metal detector doesn't even make sense. This is not a norm. I don't know. I got out of high school like 2 years before 2016, and we never had metal detectors on my campus. That's not like a normal thing in the U.S. That's my understanding is that's like if you're on the like really really like ghetto school or like the the bad school kind of
That was kind of my view of it too,
yeah
but I mean,
you're
I
telling
don't
me
live there, so
like I don't know like you're telling me like people in bumfuck nowhere Nebraska are gonna go ahead and be like, oh yeah, oh yeah, we have metal detectors on the high school football. Not even the high school grounds themselves, the high school football field. And they're like, oh wait, hold on. But also, this relied on the idea that they were also able to carry in their guns, as the whole inciting incident is set up as
well,
oh it's
no,
just a
Rangi,
wait
if you think about it, it does do that though. It establishes clearly that one of the detectors is metal detector and the other is alien detector. So to
yeah
get your
yeah
gun in, all you have to do is walk through the alien detector side.
yeah well but what I mean is the implicit idea of there having been metal detectors is detect weapons, things that are going to be brought in, which implies that you know the that is not expected as something you can bring, and anyone who is approaching the whole institution, the whole building, the football game, would have just known, oh hey, I'm not supposed to bring my gun. And so, like this idea of like, oh yeah, the fans, rush the field, and then this being Nebraska, some of them were armed, and so they opened fire, and that's kind of like the
No. Hang on.
overt thing they're setting up.
That's what they told us in episode 1, but what they told us in episode 2 explicitly, very explicitly, is that it's Macon's man who shot the aliens.
Yeah. Well, but so what I'm getting
They
at,
were there, they were armed, they knew ahead of time who their targets were.
Yeah. So, by the way, if they knew who their targets were, then what's the point of having the alien
Yeah, I
detectors?
know. Yeah, why wait for the football game, right? Why not just take him out on a fucking country
in
road or something? Yeah,
in
no,
fact,
it's
it's probably easier to do that.
yeah, it all like that's the thing. They can construct a quite cleverly written and executed set piece for a scene. It's just when you take it as a whole, it doesn't add up. Like none of it adds up.
It doesn't. No, it's actually frustrating how little it adds up because once you get more information and like
But
with these,
I feel like every fucking normie and a lot of non-normies are going to look at this and go,
huh?
"Oh, well, I like that. Oh, well, I
Yeah,
like that.
that
Oh,
is
well, that's
basic.
kind of
I think
interesting."
that's what's
And
happening.
they're then going to sit there 40 minutes later and go, "Shit, that was really good." It's like, no, guys, this is it's not so good. It's not so good.
Well, I mean, like most people only watch things, and this is natural, by the way, but like most people only watch each episode once.
Yeah.
Like, we've already watched. I mean, I've watched the first episode twice now. I'm going to have watched the second one twice once we get to next week, and we need to, recap and everything. Like, we're already picking up on things because we're watching things multiple times, but also talking about it for way longer than anyone else
Yeah,
would be
but
expected to talk about it.
and
So.
we're going into it with the specific purpose of analyzing it, and so there is
Mm.
that too. Because the average, let's be honest, the average person watching this is probably some guy getting off like their work shift, and they just wanna sit down on the couch and watch a show.
Right? Don't even. No, it's not even that. The average guy watching this, like I'm being specific when I say the average guy watching this, is probably seeing those three important letters HBO and going, "Oh
Okay,
fuck, it's
that'll
been a
be good.
long day. It's been a long day. There's probably going to be some tits in there."
Yeah. Oh,
Possibly
how
that
disappointed they will be.
I was gonna say sex appeal. By the way, sex appeal for males or females or gays or you know just in general, like very low in this show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Literally, yeah.
They are really not trying to appeal to anyone. It's a choice.
Well, it feels like the
I mean, there was a
first.
cock in this episode.
Oh, there was a cock, but it was one a dead guy.
A
Hey,
dead
listen,
alien.
necrophiliacs are people too, you know.
It was yeah,
Are they though? Oh,
which
actually, do you know
Some
what,
people.
Shame? That that was actually an excellent reference, and I know that you made it completely unaware, but it was still an excellent reference.
yep,
In Green Lantern lore, necrophiliacs are indeed still people too. Black Hand thanks you.
Well, you're welcome.
I actually got that reference.
But yeah, no, it is true.
He's the
There's
guy
no eye
he's the
candy
guy
in
who
this show.
he's the guy who spawns the Black Lantern Corps.
No,
Which at this point I would not actually be shocked to see in like maybe season 3. Like I don't know what they're doing. It's crazy.
but yeah, so John does recover the. While John does recover the thing, he eventually gets back. But more importantly,
Wait,
yeah.
should we give credit for the line?
Wait,
The line
which line?
that we liked?
Which line was that?
Doesn't socialize?
Oh, yes. So there is the basically vault that the lantern is kept in. It has an actual like comics reference that both Dake and I liked. The Mogu doesn't socialize is the code to open the vault.
A very, very direct reference to a direct line in a comic.
And
Yeah,
and
no,
another
that was
Green
good. I like
Lantern.
that.
Yeah, and I've already spoiled who Mogu is, but another direct line that's referencing another Green Lantern. I liked
Yeah.
that.
I do like that too. It points more to the rest of them. We did kind of skip over Hal letting the rich guy buy him a mansion so as he didn't feel more emasculated by the fact that Hal could save his child as a Green Lantern than he could
Yeah.
as a rich guy.
Yeah,
That's
we
not
we
me.
had
That's
a
not me
big
spinning, by the way, Chad. That's me fleshing out slightly, very, very slightly, what Hal
one.
actually says in the episode.
It's interesting. We had a big aside during the episode because I did actually have to pause that because I was like, uh, I Hal would not do that.
No, no, Hal would not do that. No Green
In fact,
Lantern would be allowed to do
I don't
that,
think
and the
any
vast, vast
superhero would do
majority of
that.
them. Well, Booster might.
But yeah, Booster might maybe, but like the vast majority of superheroes in superhero media in general wouldn't do that because, like, for one thing, it's just okay, great. So now everyone knows where you live, but also
Well,
like,
I suppose Guy probably would.
actually, yeah, I could see Guy doing it. Well, but Guy kind of goes good with Booster Gold because of that. They're similar in that sort of demeanor.
One of the best things about their relationship is the fact that they genuinely don't get along.
Yeah, they're kind of like opportunists that don't get along. That's what I understand about them.
There's a lot of really good character stuff in the Justice League International. People shit on that series unjustly. No pun intended.
Uh, but yeah, Guy. Apparently Hal just like let. Oh, and there's also the thing about the Lantern uniforms as well, and they.
Let's stick on the morality of the house thing for a second,
Yeah.
because
Lulu, this would probably be a good time to cut that in because we had a whole like aside and rant about that.
but it's really bad. Like the Guardians won't let you do that as a Green Lantern. That would be considered a breach at the very least of
Oh.
your oath.
Well, how can you uphold justice when you're just accepting, like, not even just rewards? It's not like this guy gave you like a $200 bill, which would already kind of
I mean, it's
compromise you. But it's
just
like,
from what we saw, like it's a couple of $1 million house.
yeah, no, this is a massive, no, you have to remember it's in California. This is probably like tens of millions. For the
Yeah, that's a
size
good point, actually.
Well, for the size of it, and especially assuming it's in Coast City.
I still think it really might be the Adams Family Values staircase that we see.
I think it wouldn't surprise me if maybe they were into the same house to do it in.
It looked so familiar, didn't it?
I haven't seen that move. I've seen
Oh, you should watch it. It's good.
Unity wants me to watch it. But yeah, anyway, yeah, no, it's just there's so many problems with the idea that Hal would take this house, and it's not just like ethics, not just the morality of it. It's kind of just fundamentally like well, it
I mean,
almost
it's like
feels
definitionally not altruistic. So it
yeah.
kind
Well,
of
in
flies in the
the
face of
way
being a
Hal
superhero.
explains it, it almost feels like really cocky. You know, like
Yeah, but you guys are forgetting. You guys are forgetting something. They wanted to show us that Hal is transient, and it's much easier to show that in a big, big house than it is in a normal size apartment.
you're right.
Like
You know,
big house, no furnishings, empty rooms. It's a more dramatic statement than, hey, you got a couple of boxes on your couch.
but the house is furnished. It's pretty nicely furnished, actually.
Not furnished. We see the pictures sitting on the floor along the wall where they're supposed to be. We hear John tell him he has no furniture and hasn't moved in, and Hal points out I have a bed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got like a
Okay.
chandelier,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's got any furniture.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the more. I actually think it's more selfish that he would doing that and keeping the house. Like at that point, just sell the house. Hell, give the house to like a charity or something. Like,
I mean, he wouldn't need it.
yeah, basically, it's like you have this big house, but you're not living in it at all, and you're not doing anything with it at all. You're not even furnishing it. Like, people talk about like rich people like picking up like houses they don't need, and I think that's usually pretty whiny stuff. But like, Hal is literally not doing anything else with this house other than keeping his weird alien plant in it.
I wonder if he kept his old car there that he just trashed.
I assume the idea is he bought a he paid for somebody like a cheap amount for a junker there.
Maybe.
I
That
I
car was
have to
no
assume
junker,
that
though.
was
That thing
what
was in
they
perfect
meant.
condition.
That was in pretty good condition a for a car that he's just willing to wreck, yeah. But anyway, basically the house. I think there's something there. There's the idea that Hal doesn't really care about luxury, I guess, and he's just willing to like leave this. And maybe that's something, but I don't know. I feel like Hal would just be like, if he did accept this because for some reason he felt like he couldn't refuse. I feel like Hal would have been like, okay, maybe I'll like have this house set up for like a charity or like donate it to an orphanage or like a local church or something so that like they can like do something altruistic with it, or maybe he would actually just rent it out. I mean, look, he has to be able to pay for food and stuff somehow.
Well, there's always his married brother with a couple of kids who could probably do with a bit of room. I don't know.
That's true too. Yeah. Actually,
But
doesn't he have two
we
brothers?
haven't done that.
I don't remember if he had two or not. I think he had two brothers. Am I
Hal
misremembering that?
has two brothers, yeah, as I recall. I don't remember how many John has in the comics, but in the show he appears to have two.
Yeah.
One roughly the same age, and one seems to be older.
A nice big, probably securable house for a superhero's family, and maybe the adjacent superheroes. That would probably, that would probably come in handy. I mean, he doesn't have to live in it himself. He could have a room there, and like there's so much stuff he could be doing with this house, and that's
Look,
kind of
Rangy, apparently all he does have is a room there.
yeah. That I guess that's true. Oh, with going back ahead again to when he's showing up on the ranch, the scene where he gets shot. We also have the fun fact that apparently a camera that just detects aliens. Apparently, that's like some of the most sophisticated technology that
Yeah, actually, just
Hal has
let
ever
Luna
seen.
just cut that one in because I feel like we've already covered that.
Yep.
It's laughably silly.
It is remarkably silly. Yeah, but Hal getting
It's
shot,
like,
that's
hi, my bosses live on the second most advanced planet that's ever existed in this universe, and that's only if we don't talk about New Genesis and Apocalypse. Fuck off.
yeah. I literally have a ring that makes anything out of light. But
Yeah.
but
On my
your
person at all
advanced
times.
security system, that shit is like more sophisticated than anything I've ever seen.
You know what? Actually, I've been thinking about that. The back of my mind has been working away on this. I guess it doesn't even have to be sampling DNA. It could actually just be a spectrograph.
Yeah, I mean, there's loads of ways that, like, we don't know how the shapeshifters change their insides. So, like, it could just be a case that, they kind of get x-rayed,
Okay.
and then that's how they figure out that they're not human.
We've already kind of talked about the diner scene. I think just skip over that. The hospital. Finally at that.
I am going to go out and go against you guys once again. I actually do not dislike the hospital scene. I think some good work was done there. I think it was one of the more useful and progressing scenes in the episode.
I mean, I guess. I think the big thing I don't like is so when Sinestro comes up and
I don't mind that. Like the
I
the
just
idea that he
don't
talks about Sinestro in his sleep. I mean, yeah, I could see that. Yeah, why wouldn't he? It's been a huge influence on him.
Yeah, well, okay,
Well,
but she didn't. So was the idea that she took notes while he was asleep and he happened to say all the relevant information about Sinestro, or is the
No,
idea that
okay,
she
okay, hang
Googled
on.
it?
I know what your question is. I know what your question is. So my read on that, I think this is what the show was trying to tell us. I think he was blurting certain stuff out in his anesthesia fueled sleep, and she was hearing it. And I mean, she's a sheriff. She's, probably not a total retard. She hasn't been presented as an idiot so far, so I assume
No,
she has reasonable recall.
if anything, she's almost annoyingly ahead of what Howell is doing, to the point where it almost makes
Well, I mean,
everything
she
else.
lives there, man. It does stand to
Yeah,
reason
but
she'd have her nose more to the ground.
Yeah, but it almost feels like it makes all of the scenes with Hal investigating irrelevant.
I think you've actually hit on why they can't do the scan thing, because if they allow the ring to have the scan function, then the entire show just falls apart instantly.
Yes, because Hal
Like,
and
it's
yeah,
done.
which is a
It's
problem
it's
of a concept.
it's just done straight away, which means that once again, congratulations, modern adaptation, you have fundamentally misunderstood what you failed to adapt.
Yep.
But I think, I mean, my issue with that whole scene is more in the dialogue writing, because it's just so clunky at times. Like
It is. The dialogue
especially
is bad.
after the Sinestro moment when she kind of, I mean, this is a point where it feels like the scene should be over anyway, but then they continue talking, and then there's this kind of like reconciliation moment where
Well, you have to
she
hang on. You
says-
have to hang on Sinestro. I mean, like the
Well,
nerds,
well,
the
okay,
nerds
we
are
can
going to
talk about
want
the
and
Sinestro.
expect that.
We can
Oh
talk
no,
about the Sinestro bit, but
I mean the mention. Like you're going to want to
Oh,
hang on the
sorry.
Sinestro conversation. Like the nerds, like that's where the first lore drop that
Yeah.
people really will be interested in is going to happen. Like that had to happen. I think it was
yeah, well,
executed.
that's why I would
I think it was executed pretty well.
Moment.
Yeah,
I would actually.
because
Do you know what? It is possible that they chose to do the shooting just so as the anesthesia would let him talk about that.
which
I-
is really shit if that is why, and
Which,
it probably
by,
is.
and by the way, even the best fucking I'm gonna say this, even ignoring the caliber of the rifle, which, if it's 308, then yeah, he's missing some of the muscle in his fucking arm.
Yeah.
By the way,
Yeah, about a golf ball size.
yeah, that's like a serious injury. There's like literally a golf ball sized hole going through his arm. I guess he got shot in the arm.
Yeah, John asks shoulder, and Hal says yes. So.
Oh, if it's his shoulder, that actually is worse. That is actually worse than probably. There's this idea you can, because that means every time he moves, he's gonna be feeling pain.
Yeah, but it can't be. That can't be the case, because he was able to move to put his arm into the sleeve of the jacket,
Yeah,
and
that's
then
true.
have the sling attached.
Yeah, and then take the sling off when he fancies
Which means
just taking
actually
it
it's worse as well, because he's wearing a shirt under there, so it means
Well,
he's put back on his shirt with the patching up of the bullet wound, and he's put back on the jacket, and then they put the sling on, which is not how hospitals work.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's also just been cleared to like just fucking leave, like almost right away. Like,
I mean,
you got shot.
I'll be a little bit generous. I'll be a little bit generous there. Is there a possibility he just went, "Fuck you, I'm Green Lantern"?
No, she said that he was
she
cleared
says he is.
to leave.
Oh yeah, she did say it. No, yeah, okay.
Yeah, they just this is another one of those moments. The writers just don't understand guns. If you get shot in the shoulder, you're not just gonna be fucking fine. I can't believe I even have to say it. Even if it's like a couple of days, like, I'm sorry, this is gonna be like a month, at least a month of recovery.
Oh yeah,
probably
you
more.
probably gotta go to a physio for weeks on end trying to remember how to use your arm properly.
Yeah, you're probably gonna be in the hospital for at least a week and a half or so, like, because they're gonna want to make sure that everything's good and you don't have like permanent nerve damage for one thing, like, or like
infection, sepsis, shrapnel.
Yeah, exactly. All of these like things are a factor, and then you have the fact that he's a celebrity too. So like they're gonna be
True.
extra cautious.
You'd
Yeah, and
kind
then
of
you gotta
expect
scan your
you kind of
brain to
expect
figure out how
media.
much.
That's true
Oh yeah, yeah,
too. Green Lantern has been shot.
Isn't he
yeah.
the only, well, as of current state of universe now, isn't he the only like publicly known superhero? He's the
Yeah.
only one the public know his real name.
Yeah, Green Lantern has been shot and hospitalized.
So he's been Okay, so this era is in 2016. He has been Green Lantern for 30 years. He has been publicly Hal Jordan Green Lantern for 20 years. He would be bigger than Michael Jackson at the height of his fame. And there's not a
Yes.
reporter outside the hospital
Yeah,
where he
this
got
is-
shot.
It's funny because I'm thinking of like there was a specific situation with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think he was in South Africa and he got drop kicked by somebody at a fan event, and that was like international
Oh yeah,
news.
yeah.
But you're telling me Green Lantern, who is once again
He would be a bigger celebrity than there has ever been. Like he would be.
he would
Any
at
like
least be as big.
any superhero would be, but like a superhero who isn't hiding who they are and can do the things he is, he would be bigger than God.
Yeah, and we saw like he showed up to a random taco stand at the side of the road and everybody recognized him. Even in this town, people recognize him as who he is.
But he's
Uh,
sufficiently famous that he's chosen to ditch the fucking outfit, and they still know who he is, even when he's not visibly using the ring.
yeah, but yeah, he's shot, and it's not even like a media presence doesn't even exist, and he's just also then just fine. So there's no consequences to anything about this.
Actually, do you know what? That's a thing. We've done 2 episodes of this, and so far we've seen one thing that might have been internet usage.
That's true, and this is 2016. This isn't like fucking 2006. This smartphone. I remember 2016.
Well, we know
Everybody
smartphones
had
exist in this
smartphones.
era because John is visibly
Well,
on one
I was
when
alive in this era, and I was an adult.
No, I know, me too. But like, John is using he's actually using a much more advanced
I was
smartphone
not.
than
I'm
he should
only
be for
10
the
years
era.
old.
Yeah,
But John was using a smartphone when he was on the phone to Hal in Hal's house.
yeah, he
There were
was.
a bunch of scenes where you could see the phone, and it was like, man, that thing was like maybe 4 or 5 years old. It was not 10 years old.
Yeah, that was probably like that seemed like a pretty like modern-ish phone, which makes sense because they probably even think about that as like a thing because uh Nokias and stuff were still a big thing in 2016. I think my first cell phone was like 2011, and I had a Nokia. No, it was earlier than that. It was like 2009. Yeah, I had a Nokia.
My first phone was also Nokia, but it was
And let me guess, that fucker still works to this day.
99 maybe.
Yeah, and like I said, let me guess, that fucker still works to this day.
I've no idea. I haven't seen the damn thing in years. If I could find one of the slightly later ones than that and put a charge into them, yeah, they probably would, though. Yeah, I wouldn't be at all
Yeah,
surprised. Those things are damn near indestructible.
So the scene with Hal and John talking, where Hal learns what John knows, and also I guess we can also tie this into the scene with John where he actually talks to what we think might be possibly the Red Lanterns, but they're talking about the Manhunters and stuff.
I really think
Yeah.
they're going to end up being the Weaponers. It fits. It fits much more, not with lore, like how I would construct this, but it fits more with what they seem to be doing. And think about it, right? Like, if the end result is supposed to be Parallax, they won't want that to be the reveal at the end of season 1. They'll want that to be like the lead into season 2, or maybe the reveal at the end of season 2. They want to milk this shit for as long as possible. So I think it's way more likely that from what we have now, the plot line is going to go something like what we've been told. Manhunters preceded Green Lanterns. Manhunters went bad for whatever reason, killed trillions of people. Fine, that's pretty much in keeping with the lore. And rather than it being Sector 666, I think they're going to do it on Quard, which is kind of a refit of the lore, but I guess it's acceptable enough. So that would make sense that the Weaponers, then, the people who initially created the Yellow Ring, the first Yellow Ring, and the first Yellow Lantern, I think it makes sense that that will be the reveal they want to do. So they'll probably have Alien John guys will most likely be Weaponers. Rancher guys will possibly be Manhunters. I don't know. It's hard to think of an alien group that would be trying to defend a Manhunter.
Well, you had a theory when we were watching it, Manhunter actually. So
Yeah,
that-
to be honest, I'm still not sure I'm wrong on that one. I'm struggling to see what narrative involvement she could really have in the story otherwise. Like, why is she there? Why
yeah,
does it keep?
she seems kind of crowbarred in almost. Like, I feel like you could cut her. If not, you could cut her scenes out, and I don't think you lose much.
Well,
at all.
her scenes could have completely been like slept with John. Husband makes a reference about eating off another man's grill. John has the grace to look shamefaced and say fucking nothing, and that's it. That's it. We never need to see her again. Fine.
Yeah,
She's served
but
her
now that we
purpose.
have seen her again, she is almost certainly going to play a huge role later on. It's just whether or not
Yes,
she's
and from the things she was saying, like if you think about the lines she was dropping about the husband, it's kind of not hard to hear an alien saying, "I've found a cover." So yeah, I think she might turn out to be the Manhunter, assuming the show is telling us the truth when it supposes that there is only one Manhunter.
I think that even is iffy.
It's very iffy. I don't know
Yeah,
that I trust
I don't,
anything the show is
I don't know
telling me.
why you would
because-
even assume there's only one. Like, they can look like anything. So how do you know? Like,
And they were not built in numbers like the Green Lanterns. There were a lot of Manhunters.
yeah. So with
Doesn't that also mean that if she is the Manhunter, then she's the one who killed Abin Sur?
Possibly.
Yeah.
So the comic lore with Abin Sur is he was freaked out for a while before he got injured, or he got the injury. I don't think it was. Was it directly Atrocitus? I don't think it was. But anyway, he's basically losing willpower and freaking out after being injured. The implication was always very much that he probably shouldn't necessarily have died, except he didn't have as much faith in the ring as he should have because of what Atrocitus had told him. So he dies, the ring goes to hell. I don't see how they can bring Reds into this and make it make sense with what they seem to be doing.
Well, it's like naturally want to introduce yellows before reds anyway.
If you want to try and follow any of the comics, yeah, but I suppose you don't really have to. Like, I mean, you could introduce fucking Violet next. It doesn't really make that much of a difference as long as you execute it well,
That's true.
or at least competently.
So
I mean, there's no reason the mystery of this couldn't have been like, why is the sun suddenly fucking younger, and it turns out to be a Blue Lantern. You know, you could do any of them. It just needs to be decently written.
yeah.
It really is
Lulu,
hard to see how
by
Reds
the way,
would fit that.
bye Lulu. He was in chat,
Oh shit! I didn't have chat up.
but
Sorry.
he hasn't seen the episode, so.
Bye Lulu. Bye Lulu.
We'll see you in the edit, buddy. But yeah,
Oh, thanks for the compliment as well. I guess. I think, yeah. It's fine. Let's move.
I was gonna say, yeah, we should probably move on because my big worry here is that we're gonna get ourselves bogged down too much. We're already like 2.5 hours, which is well, almost 2.5 hours. But I guess the next major scene. Is there anything else we need to talk about with the hospital scene, or I think a lot of it is just really bad dialogue. I think it's what weighs it down, which
Yeah, that was my main
is
issue with it. It's just clunky writing.
yeah,
You
it's
had an issue earlier with her looking up Sinestro.
yeah, no, that was my other big issue. So like I said, the two possibilities is he was talking in his sleep in his unconscious state, and she just took note. Or which I guess is convenient for her that he happened to talk specifically about Sinestro, but it's possible that can make sense. Or for some reason she's just able to look up Sinestro and uh know about him, and for some reason this is public knowledge despite John or Hal not uh, telling anybody about it, and specifically saying he doesn't talk.
Well, we don't know that Hal has never told anyone about it. We know that Hal doesn't seem to want to talk about it.
Yeah,
And
well, Hal
again,
says he doesn't talk about it.
Guy could easily be the explanation for this. Any lantern would know the story.
That's true. I guess
So
Guy maybe, but
you got to remember the timeline, right? So present day in the show for us, with both of them alive, is 2016.
I guess
Hal got the ring in 86.
yeah. I guess what
Hal went public in 96.
a lot of my problem is the idea. Okay, she's like a small. And by the way, we also have the whole like from Gotham.
Well, I just mean he's probably done a bunch of interviews, man. Like a lot of the
probably has.
basic lantern lore is probably like it's probably public knowledge, and I can't imagine that Guy would be too
Is Guy active in 2016?
shy.
He should be. Well,
Oh, okay.
well, no, wait.
Presumably, yes. No,
Well,
he
okay,
has to. Well,
he has to.
unless
Okay,
the
he has to
trailer,
be
unless the
in.
trailer has been really fucking edited, because I'm pretty sure when we see Guy, we see him talking to Hal.
Yeah. The he shows up in the trailer, so presumably.
Yeah, but that might not necessarily be in 2016.
That is well, well, it because he talks to Hal, so unless the Hal.
But we know
death is
Hal
a fake-
dies in 26, but we don't know that there's no
Yeah,
other scenes
okay,
before that.
maybe that's a good possibility. But I don't know. It feels like I think it feeds into a wider issue where he almost seems to be as or more competent than the alien front.
I don't really get that, man. I see. Okay, so on the Sinestro thing, firstly, Hal's been around a long time and he's been public. So
Yeah, it's been.
I mean, aliens have been coming to Earth and they're known about. They're detectable, and there are programs and processes in place. We know this from the preceding movies.
I guess that's my annoyance is we don't really know what the process is. We don't know what a lot of this means.
Oh, no, of course we don't. But what I'm saying is it is understandable that like gossip from the wider galaxy and universe would percolate to this Earth.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay, well,
and then we have a loudmouth lantern who doesn't particularly like the other one who doesn't want to talk about it.
Okay,
like
well,
I can easily see Guy going, "Oh, Jordan want to talk about it? I will tell you all about Sinestro. You just pull up a seat. Let me fucking tell you."
Okay, so I guess the last thing we have to do probably before the last scene, the Sinestro scene, is gonna be the scene where John and Hal are back reunited and talking, and Hal does give John props about the whole bird thing, and I think this is one of those things where you can most point to it and say Hal was clearly testing John and testing how far this ability could go. I think this is probably that moment where you can say that.
Yeah, I think you're being a little generous with
I
that one.
am. I am.
Considering
This is me being
there's
very good
really no
faith.
reason, there's really no reason for this to have worked. There's really no reason for this ability to exist.
Yeah, and other than that, how John does tell Hal exactly what happened. He isn't lying to him. He isn't like. I don't think he leaves out anything major.
He does leave out the fact that they gave him like the flashbacks of what happened to their people.
Yeah, which by the way was very visually uninteresting. It's very disappointing actually. It's like, look,
Yeah,
if,
you'd really expect to see something, right?
Yeah,
Other than just
yeah.
Aaron Pierre contorting his face for fucking 45 seconds.
Well, it's almost to the point where I'm like, is that even like a real thing to happen to their people? Because like, I don't know, we don't really. It feels like it's almost. Maybe the idea is they want it to be like so horrific that Aaron Pierre's like reaction. That's all we need to know how horrible it is.
I didn't think the reaction
I didn't
was
think
particularly
I
like
don't.
horrific.
Yeah,
The thing is, though, if I'm right, if that was the weaponers, like, they do all sorts of weird, crazy, occasionally subtle shit with their weapons. Like, what they did with John may not be the only thing that machine did.
Yeah,
like there may yet be. I'm
well,
not trying to
they had to
speculate on
load
behalf
and
of the
prepare
show,
that.
but like there may yet be unforeseen consequences for the viewers.
Well, it was notable that they had to load something into that and prepare it. So I can believe it did a lot more than what just we saw.
Well, see, that too lends itself towards being the weaponers more than the Red Lanterns, because it stands to reason that the weaponers would know more about the limitations of lantern rings because they're able to forge them. They're the only ones other than Guardian. Well, not the only ones. They're the only ones other than extremely powerful group. Well, no, that doesn't work either. Fuck it, never mind. They're able to forge them anyway. So that does also kind of lean into the idea that it'll be a yellow ring or a yellow battery that we find. So Abensur crashes on Earth. Something in his ship has survived or not been depowered, and it presumably played some role in his death. It's also something he didn't tell Hal about, at least not at the time, and he couldn't have afterwards on account of a bad case of death. This all screams yellow.
Yep, I think it has to be Yellow Lanterns that they're going for, and Weaponers makes sense in that regard based off how you described it.
Well, remember the trailer footage we saw with the whole like yellow filter desert planet with the whole wrecked big mega structure thing? Like all of the incidental things that we're seeing, like it all screams yellow.
Yep. Yeah, so either way, it's very clear that Hal, once he gets this information, he is kind of put off by Manhunters being involved. We also do get a little bit of an admission of like, I mean, John finally gets a little bit of head pats, which is clearly what he wanted.
He also kind of starts treating Hal a little bit like a human being instead of a person he just doesn't want to have to deal with. He does seem to drop the whole angry sir shit.
Well, it's interesting, right? Because his choice to take the uniform anyway, which, by the way, I think is actually a very Jon Stewart choice. He would probably be like, you know.
I can totally see comic or a cartoon John doing that. I just don't really know why this show John did it.
Yeah, it feels like they want to lean into the idea of comic/show John, but the problem
They
is
definitely want to lean into cartoon John. Like, you saw the goatee on Future John. That's not accidental.
Of course they do. Of course that is probably the look. As much as Hal is like the definitive, let's be honest, Justice League Jon Stewart is the Jon
Oh,
Stewart
for
most
a
people.
generation, yeah, John is the guy.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
only thing is, for like 4 generations, Hal is the guy.
Yeah, that's kind of the difference, though, right? Because the Justice League cartoon is going to be where the vast majority of people, especially in the core demographic, for like media, that is where that
Oh, no,
he is.
you guys would be aging out of the demo now.
Yeah, but like even okay, maybe maybe in like 5 to 10 years, it'll be back to hell again.
think
Because
we're probably in the age
I
range for like
I
this
think Hal
show
is
specifically,
becoming.
but the DCU in general probably not.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Hal in general is becoming the definitive again, because I'm thinking of like that 3D animated show, and like most ever portrayals of Green
Oh,
Lantern since.
the last two Green Lantern shows have been Hal.
Yep. That's kind of what I'm thinking on, and I
And the film.
yes, and the film, which I do actually think I would rather watch than the show. But yeah, so that whole scene, yeah, it did feel like it was the more humanizing part for Hal and John. I actually don't mind the hotel scene, and kind of, I think in a better show that would be a highlight. You know, um, and then we get to Sinestro, which I don't think we got enough out of Sinestro yet to really make it meaningful.
No, but I'm hoping we get a lot more. I can't see any reason
Yeah,
that we
presumably
wouldn't.
we will next episode.
Well, we know a lot of what we get with Hal going forward will have to be flashbacks, one
Yes.
way or the other.
Accurate.
So I assume a
Yeah.
lot of that will have to deal with. To be honest, actually, the Hal flashbacks will probably be where we see some of the more cosmic shit. Like, we're probably going to see some of the Hal training with Sinestro scenes. We'll probably
Yeah.
see some of Sinestro's betrayal. We might even see his assault. I assume he has some sort of assault on Noah if he fucking killed a Guardian, which I guess the show says he did, so all right.
Yeah, I think the next episode opens with an actual like discussion with Sinestro. I don't see why it wouldn't.
Well, I mean, you've pulled that cord now, so
Yeah.
just do it.
Oh yeah,
You
it's
know?
like you
It's
pulled that
look, a
cord.
good chunk. Even the most optimistic asshole in the writer's room has to know that there is going to be a chunk of your viewership that is purely there to see how well you handle Sinestro.
Yeah, because Sinestro is one. He probably is the most important Green Lantern antagonist, I would say.
Oh, he is Green Lantern's Joker, yeah.
Yep. Yes. That's exactly what
Yeah.
I mean. It's like, it
The
is.
arch rival.
Yeah, it's
It
the
used to be
Joker.
Hector Hammond, but it's very much Sinestro now.
Yeah, it's the Joker. It's
I mean,
your Lex
even I knew who
Luthor.
Sinestro was.
Yeah, it's the Joker. It's Lex Luthor. It's just in general. It is what? Well, it's a Mandarin for
How could
Iron
you
Man.
stop before Reverse Flash? It was me, Barry.
Reverse Flash is just a famous hater. That is what all he is.
He's perhaps the second most famous hater.
I was gonna say with comics, I don't know about that.
Oh no, I was thinking of Ryan. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, but outside of that, do we have anything else we need to discuss before we wrap it up?
I really like the performance the actress for the sheriff is putting in.
I think she's doing a good job for what she's getting. I think the problem is the writing for her, and we talked about it, but I don't think either any of us like the. For one thing, it's just so contrived. If she is and she almost has to be related to who we think she's related to, and she kind of has to be who we think.
Man, I cannot understand why
It
anyone
makes
would choose to do that.
Well, it almost makes the universe feel much smaller, you know? Like,
yeah,
Yeah,
well,
like, what are the
it's such a
chances that-
pointless connection, though. Like,
yeah, it's like this random sheriff in
so it
Nebraska just
just
happens.
happens to be a cousin of Bruce Wayne's.
Yeah, like that's just fucked. That's the kind of contrivance that, like,
No,
if
I
you
mean, like,
suggested that in the
fine.
writer's room,
It's entirely possible. You know, it's
what, that
pretty
she would be
normal.
directly involved with a Green Lantern.
Yeah, no,
like,
in a comic book universe, it's fucking laughable.
yeah, it's just. I don't know.
Kane
That's the
from
kind of thing.
Gotham.
If you suggested
Ugh.
that in like a writer's room, well, a
The
normal writer's
timing, the
room, they would
timing
throw
on
you
that,
out the window.
the timing on that during recording was perfect as well. It was like, my name is Kane. Please don't say Gotham. Please don't say Gotham. Please don't say Gotham.
this
I'm
is-
from Gotham. Fuck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is the other thing. You know what Superman is from, right? Because you guys are both Europeans.
Oh, he's Kansas.
Yeah, guess
what
what
state is
state
that?
is one state away from literally Nebraska.
Nebraska.
Nebraska is right over Kansas.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, it feels kind of weird to like create this kind of connection, and part of me wonders if they're intending to do something with that. It's like
It's hard to see why you would bother including it if you didn't want to do something with it down the line. I just don't know where they could be going.
exactly
It's
like
the Middle America Cinematic Universe inside the DCU.
I mean, it's James Gunn. I wouldn't necessarily rule it out.
to be fair, I think if he did something wild like that, it would be better.
He could have. There's even a comic he could have adapted to do it. He could have done the Superman comic where he walks across America in order to reconnect to the common people. But no, that would have made sense and been relatable, and had Superman not flying and punching aliens. Can't do that. Have to pay the VFX budgets if you have those departments for a reason.
Well, shit, it's almost like paying to it's almost like a show if for Green Lantern if you're not willing to shell out the money for it or make it animated, which actually does make more sense. Might not be the superhero you want to do a live action TV show for.
Yeah, maybe not. But on the other hand, you could make it gritty and grounded and true detective-y, and that way no one will expect
sure.
much in the way of CGI, and oh god, shit me now.
Why not do that with John Constantine? You'd still have to do effects for it, but I think you can get away with a lot less effects. And
You
but
could.
you could do it kind of, and you could do it kind of supernatural-esque. Let's see, Green Arrow, you could do something without too many VFX. In fact, they have, even though feel how you might feel about Arrow. It was
Wildcat.
a show. Wildcat. I don't even know who that is, but sure, why not?
He's a member of the JSA, and his thing is punching people. That's it, just punching people.
Actually, there's probably plenty of low-level superheroes whose powers aren't even effects heavy that you could do.
Yep. Arrowman.
Huh?
Sandman. Well, I suppose Sandman would be a bit effects heavy.
I think there's already a Sandman show too.
No, other Sandman. Comics, well, DC Sandman, not fucking Neil Gaiman Sandman.
Oh, I was assuming maybe. I know he worked for DC for a bit, but
He has, yeah. He's worked on and off for DC. He's worked on and off for everybody. No, DC Sandman was a Justice Society of America character, Wesley Dodds. He's quite different. He puts people to sleep.
but yeah, like just in general, there are so many things you can actually go and like do that is going to be less requiring effects, and I just I don't know, the further we go through this, like I said, apparently Hal Jordan can just shrug off gunshots. Apparently Jon Stewart can get hit in the face by a moving
See,
vehicle and just
no.
be fine.
If
He can
if
shrug off
either
vans.
if either one of them had been wearing the ring and had the uniform, and by which I mean
Yeah,
by which
right.
I mean the force field on,
Yep,
like,
that
yeah,
would be fine.
I'd actually be fine with that.
Yep,
Like, you
that
can
would be
do that.
fine. That'd be fine.
You just chose to not do that.
I think my final thoughts are, I think what's really, really frustrating me about the show, I hate this with superhero media specifically. It feels so. Actually, no. I can say it about anime adaptations or other adaptations of other more exaggerated media. I hate how disrespectful it is to the tone of those. How clearly embarrassed the writers and the director clearly are about the medium as a whole. It is very clear
Yeah.
Lindelof does not want to be doing a comics thing, and that they almost it almost feels like demeaning uh comics and comic book media in general.
It's not embarrassed by it, man. It's contemptuous of it.
Yes, contemptuous is probably a better word, because it's
But it comes
very
across as embarrassment, which is probably worse because if it
no,
was like
it is
obviously
spite.
contemptuous.
He's an acolyte. He's an acolyte of J.J. Abrams, don't you know? He's a very, very smart man. He worked on Lost. He can't be doing things like cape shit.
Yeah, well, no, not only that, but it does seem very contemptuous. Uh, I would have said embarrassed the first episode, but this episode with the comments on the uniform, that's gonna be that's
I don't know, man.
probably,
Even that line about Chip in the first one, like,
yeah.
how am I supposed to talk to the other lanterns? They're aliens. One of them's a fucking squirrel. It's like, bro, are you for real? Like, firstly, your rings let you talk anyway. What the fuck are you talking about?
But
And
yeah, but
secondly, you say this 30 years into your Green Lantern career. Like, do you just is
it
Sinestro the only other lantern you've ever fucking talked to?
well, it's weird because then he has the joke about Mogu as the password to something. That feels like really almost. I don't feel like this Tao would care to use that, you know?
I can only assume that the logic, if there was any thought that went into this other than reference, which is a pretty big if with this show, but if there was, I can only assume that the logic was something along the lines of, well, it's a password that basically no one on Earth could ever fucking guess.
Yeah, which I guess that's fair. No, nobody would probably guess that.
I mean, if you tried to brute force that, you're down to literally just putting together sounds and hoping. Like, you'd be there for billions of years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shane, who do you think? You've been a little quiet the last few minutes. Sorry, we've been talking over you a bit. We've been doing this, not this show, but Rangi and I've been doing these arguments for a while now, so we tend to get a bit caught up. I apologize.
No, it's fine. I'm like when it comes to the comic talk, I'm just happy to let you guys hash out because I mean, it helps me learn more context about
yeah.
the show that I am paying a lot of attention to, but I'm obviously seeing it from the perspective of kind of, you know, what I think about the writing and just the general quality of the show as though it isn't related to anything.
Yeah.
Is it any better through that lens alone?
Well,
No. I would actually you could even argue maybe it's worse because I've got no reason to, look for little Easter eggs or, things that might lift it up in contextual clues or anything like that.
I'm not really looking for them, to be honest. It's just the few they've done
I'm
so
not saying
far
you
have been like, you wouldn't have to be massive Green Lantern comic nerd to get them, but like to get all of them, yeah. I'll give them credit.
Yeah.
They are putting some thought in here and there. They're just doing it in the wrong places and for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, I mean, but like, I didn't even get the enjoyment from the Mogo joke, you know, because it didn't mean anything
Yeah,
to
that
me
must
at
have
the
been
time.
that must have been weird to you. Actually, the two of us just erupt and laugh.
Yeah, but I think this is my impression watching it. It doesn't feel like they want to be making a Green Lantern show. They're almost embarrassed they're making a Green Lantern show. What it feels like they want to do is like True Detective mixed with X Files, maybe.
Rangi, this
Yeah,
is the
I mean,
man
even
who
X
was
Files
given.
was.
This man was given the keys to Watchmen, and he chose to make it about a cross-racial love story in the aftermath of the Tulsa race riot.
I don't even know what that means. I've
You're
seen
better
clips
off. You're actually
of
better off.
Watchmen. I've seen clips of Watchmen. I've heard jokes about Watchmen, but most of what I heard about was just that it was terrible and had a lot to do with like weird race stuff.
Yeah, Lindelof seems to be not quite so on the nose with this one, but it doesn't right now seem to be shaping up much better.
Yeah. Well, I think this is probably a good time to sign off, and we're already giving Lulu way more footage than I think he's gonna be happy with. Sorry about that, Lulu.
To the editing dungeon with you, sir.
I guess sign up, plug your channels, and we'll sign off.
Yeah, Dake, you want to go or should I go?
No, I was waiting for you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, thanks, Rangi, for having me on. Yeah, it's been really fun. I mean, I especially enjoyed watching it with you both because yeah, getting the like raw reactions and stuff like that is it's enjoyable, and then being able to talk immediately about it for well, how long we going? We've been going for like 2.5 hours.
2.5
In
hours
total,
and an hour and a half for the actual recording.
Yeah, but yeah, no,
a nice
I'm
casual 4
enjoying.
hours.
Yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying talking about the show at least, even if I don't particularly enjoy the actual episodes. So yeah, it's been good. But yeah, apart from that, I'm True Shame on YouTube. I do a show with these two as well, called The Dig on my second channel, and we cover. Well, we will be covering various different things. At the minute, we just cover the Avengers, apparently. But
It is a very complicated and complex movie. We need to really take time and dissect it.
yeah. Although hopefully the next episode we do on that will be the last. So that'll be nice to get that behind us, get it under our belt. But yeah, I've got a video coming out soon, but it's gonna take me still a bit of time because it's gonna be longer than most of my other ones. And apart from that, yeah, hopefully I'll be on another one of these soon, maybe next week.
I think that seems pretty likely.
Unless Oobly has
Alright.
anything to do with it. Probably boo me for being British.
I've seen what makes him cheer. I wouldn't worry too much about it. All right, I suppose that leaves me. All right, well, I am still me, guys. Still Dake. Still at Dake's Den, and still with no videos to directly show you. But I am continuing to make appearances here, there, and everywhere. It kind of feels like lately. And yeah, you will see me on Shame's channel with the Dig, and you will see me on Rangi's channel with this. And you might even see us and a few other people on a shared show discussing the finale at some point.
Oh.
Who knows? Who
It's
knows?
gonna be exciting.
And you know what? Maybe if you're in Dublin, maybe you'll see him at your local bar, and you can buy him a drink.
Only if it has a pool table. You'll know me
You
by the
can
Green
buy him a
Lantern.
pool table too. He
I
has
have a
one
pool table.
already.
And it
But
has to be a dive bar as well, because apparently that's the only,
I have a
only ones
pool
I hear
table.
you talking about.
I have a pool table 3 feet behind me. What are you talking about?
well, no, but you could always have another one.
I really can't. I don't think I have the room for a second one.
Well, yeah, but then you could just resell it and buy drugs.
Well, I mean, okay.
Which you can bring to the dive bar and then make even more money.
Exactly. You see. Capitalism.
I mean, I can neither confirm nor deny any of this, and obviously disavow any kind of illegal activity.
I didn't say illegal drugs. You could buy
Happily,
that.
since the guys have seen fit to dox me anyway, happily I do drink in a bar that is friendly to shall we say, herbs of the Jamaican origin.
Okay, well, anyway.
And if you're Grace Randolph, then please get in contact because Dake would like some intimate conversations with you.
Hey, calm down. All I said earlier on in chat was we could talk about comics. Grace, I disavow. I disavow most strongly. We could talk about comics.
Well, on that note, we're probably
Maybe get a
just gonna
beer.
go ahead and end the stream here.
Yeah, I don't need the guys matchmaking me. What are you doing, madman? Bad enough Oobly's